And hello fans, and welcome to week 4 of Henley Hornets football and the final non-league tune-up before kicking off Skyline Conference play next week. Twice Henley has played up a level, and twice the Hornets have prevailed in this new season. Couple that with a win over Wairika, California, the Hornets own a 3-0 mark, and tonight Henley plays down a level on the road against LaPine. The LaPine Hawks are an even 1-1. They had half of a game canceled because of the smoke, hosting Cascade Christian just a couple of weeks ago. Tonight we come to you live from LaPine, Oregon, just 100 miles north of the basin on Highway 97, and at 4,200 feet above sea level. We welcome you to the high desert in Central Oregon, as tonight it's the Hornets and LaPine who set a table on a picturesque early fall Friday night, not under the smoke, but under the Friday night lights. Here along the doorsteps, the Sun River to the north and Mount Bachelor peering down behind us. Welcome to the MyBasin.com Game of the Week. It is a beautiful night for football. My name is Josh Eldridge. I'm joined by Kevin Petrick and my good friend Nick Bradford running the live stream tonight. Kevin, it is a great night for football.
Yeah, this has been one of the more unpredictable non-league seasons we've experienced here at Henley, but it's worked out really well. And the players are looking good. They're developing as the coaches would want them to develop. And I think this game tonight, it was supposed to be in Milwaukee. Now we're in LaPine. And I like the challenge tonight. This is the first true road game. We've had some neutral games. We had a home game. Now we're going to have to face a home crowd and a home field. And the LaPine kids were in school today. They didn't have to travel. So we're going to get a sense of how Henley plays on the road. And it'll be the last tune-up before Skyline play next week.
Kevin, Henley's defense has looked really good this season, but one of the main, handicaps for the Henley Hornets defense this season has been the sidelines. Teams, when they're able to get yardage on Henley, they're able to do it along the sidelines. What have you seen from the corners from Henley, and how are the linebackers able to close up the middle so well, but allowing the sidelines to be open?
Well, I think they'll improve with time. The good thing that Henley has going for them is speed. So one word we don't really hear enough in sports that I like to use all the time is anticipation. You don't hear that enough. The kids will get more familiar with what their scheme is on defense. Then they need to anticipate. And once they are able to see maybe the play before it develops, they can get out there a little bit earlier and they can make those plays on the sideline.
Well, we're definitely anticipating a great night of football tonight. A pair of number 7 teams going at it. LaPine, of course, in the 3A, ranked at number 7 according to the coaches poll. Henley in the same spot in the 4A in the coaches poll. Henley finally, I think, starting to earn some respect, finally being rated in that top 10. But like you said, it's the first real test for Henley this season. At least that's what we have by the numbers so far. On paper, this should be Henley's a real test for them tonight. And like you said, on the road for their first real road game.
Yeah, and another thing is we didn't know our opponent until a couple of days ago,
right.
So Henley hasn't seen a lot of film. So that's when you go back. If you don't really know your scheme, you go back to discipline and fundamentals, and that's what we're focusing on tonight.
Well, it's going to take a lot of discipline for Henley to beat a good LaPine football team, head coached by Bo DeForest, a native of Grants Pass, Oregon, just a few hours west of Klamath Falls, and now coaching here at LaPine. The Hawks are 1-1. Henley is 3-0. They look to improve to 4-0 before heading into Skyline Conference play next week. We're going to talk with Coach Stork here in just a bit on the pregame show, so keep it locked on 104.3 and 960 Sports. You've got the MyBasin.com Game of the Week.
Sure glad we went to Les Schwab.
I'm glad the baby's still happy.
Well, I'm just glad that along with tires, Les Schwab also does brakes, alignment, and a bunch of other safety services. I mean, if we'd gone to a cheap tire store instead, I'd be a doggone wreck.
My thoughts exactly.
Swing by today and get road trip ready with our always free pre-trip safety check. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
Trying to lose some weight and get in shape? Harbor Isles Tennis and Fitness Club provides a clean and friendly workout environment with professional and experienced staff to help you achieve your goals. They offer state-of-the-art equipment, indoor tennis and pickleball courts, certified personal trainers, tons of group exercise classes. They're the best exercise facility in the Klamath Basin. Plus, they now have a smoothie bar to give you a nutritious boost after your workout. See and feel the difference at Harbor Isles Tennis and Fitness Club. It's the place to be.
The Coach's Corner with head coach Alex Skor is brought to you by Abby's Legendary Pizza.
Welcome back to the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 960 Sports. I'm Josh Eldridge, joined now by Henley head coach Alex Stork. Coach, how you doing?
Good, thanks.
So last week you guys beat Crook County. What did you like about your team's performance last week?
We started out slow. I was proud of the adjustments made at halftime and the way the players responded in the second half.
So we talk a lot about, at least these past couple weeks, I've been really impressed by our linebacking core. And it seems like when other offenses are able to get some yardage on you guys, it's down the sidelines. What have you guys done to work on that part of your defense?
A lot of open field defeating blocks and a lot of open field tackling. Our linebackers have done a pretty good job for the most part of being disciplined, but when we do have opportunities in space to make plays, it just takes guys getting to the ball, wrapping up, and then guys having pursuit on the backside and gang tackling.
How do you feel about the way your special teams perform, not just extra point, where I know you had trouble last week, but your kickoff, punt return, that kind of thing?
It's definitely an area that can be improved. There was a lot of good things that happened. We had sophomore Luke Bennett block a huge field goal, did a really nice job, and a punt in the same game. We plan to feature him more in our punt and kick return game this week just because we got a couple guys that are a little dinged up in the back end there. But we definitely need to take care of the football on special teams and do a better job of being disciplined in all three phases of the game, that being offense, defense, and special teams. You
talk about some of your guys being dinged up heading into week 4. Where are you guys at health-wise heading into this match against LaPine?
Doing good overall, I would say. The guys have done a good job of being conditioned heading into the year, and I think that's really paid off. Anytime you get to week 4, week 5, there's bound to be some guys dinged up. But overall, we've been really fortunate with injuries. We are going to sit our starting right tackle, Emiliano, this weekend just because he had a sprained ankle last week in the game against Crook County, and we really want to give him the full time to recover and be strong and ready to go next week as we head into Skyline play.
All right, so talk about this game against LaPine. You kind of probably had prepared some for Milwaukee. That game got canceled. Now we're playing LaPine. What do you expect to see from the Hawks?
They have a lot of athletes. They're big in the interior. They got a couple guys up front that really do a good job of making plays on both sides, offense and defense. The quarterback does a pretty good job. He's dual threat. He can run and throw, and they have weapons on the outside and weapons in the backfield. So they're a top 5 type of 3A team. I know they're right in that ballpark there, and expecting them to be a 3A team that makes a deep run this year. So really excited for this matchup. I think it challenges us in some ways that we haven't seen as much in the preseason, so we're excited.
All right, thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between. We keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball game. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
Sure glad we went to Les Schwab.
I'm glad the baby's still happy.
Well, I'm just glad that along with tires, Les Schwab also does brakes, alignment, and a bunch of other safety services. I mean, if we had gone to a cheap tire store instead, I'd be a doggone wreck.
My thoughts exactly.
Swing by today and get road trip ready with our always free pre-trip safety check. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
And we welcome you back to 104.3 960 Sports with live HD video on mybasin.com. We're getting ready for Henley Hornets football. We are on the road in La Pine tonight. The Hornets looking to keep their perfect mark while the La Pine Hawks are 1-1. We're on the road tonight. It's a beautiful Friday evening, nothing but blue skies ahead, and we'll continue our pregame show next on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place. And then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
Please remain standing as our color guard exits the field.
We welcome you back to 104.3 and 960 Sports with HD video on mybasin.com. Tonight's matchup between the Henley Hornets and the La Pine Hawks. Tonight, Henley comes into play number 1 in the Skyline Conference. They are 3-0 overall this season. Just taking a quick look at the Skyline Conference standings, North Valley is right behind them. They're the only other Skyline Conference team with a winning record at 2-1. Behind them, it is Hidden Valley. They have a 1-1 record. Mazama is 1-2, although much better than that record tells. Klamath Union and Phoenix are both winless. The Pelicans 0-2 and the Pirates are 0-3. Take a look at some of the games that are being played this evening. Mazama is at home against Eagle Point. Klamath Union is playing Modoc, California. Other Skyline Conference teams, Hidden Valley on the road against Sweet Home tonight, and North Valley is at home in Merlin against Elmira. As far as Basin teams go, Chiloquin is playing Perrydale on Saturday. The Lost River Raiders also playing on Saturday on the road in that one in Myrtle Point. We talked about in the pregame show, Henley finds themselves in the top 10 in the coaches poll. They are rated number 7. As we go down the list, the top team in the state is still the Marshfield Pirates. They are followed by number 2, Marist. Estacada is ranked 3rd. Banks is number 5 behind Cascade, who's 4. Mazama just fell out of the top 5. They are number 6. Henley right behind them. 8, 9, and 10, LeGrand, Seaside, Tillamook. That is how the state is shaping up early in the season. And so far, Kevin, as we are getting ready for this game in front of La Pine, Henley has looked good so far this year ahead of Skyline Conference play. You're looking forward to Skyline Conference play, but you still do have a game in front of you tonight.
Of course, you want to win every game, and that'll be number 1 on the coach's sheet. But, listening to people around the program talk the last few weeks, the parents, the fans, Henley's fun to watch. I mean, this group is fun to watch. You don't know what you're going to get. You might get a 75-yard scramble. You might get, a series full of passes. You might get up the middle. So it's kind of fun. I know we expect another balanced attack tonight. Todd Paschey's able to call the plays, and he has the luxury this year of being able to use the whole playbook. He can feel confident whether it's a throw or a play action or just a pass up the middle. He's got the skills and the tools to be able to do that. So we'll see if they can be successful tonight doing that, and if they are, they should have a good chance of winning.
Coin flip happening down on the field right now. The captain's out there for Lapine. Number 19, the quarterback, Colton Campbell. Also Dawson Cook, the running back. You're also going to have number 70, Tegan DeForest, and number 74, Stephen Machen. Out there for Henley, Shaw Stork, and Colton Smith. You're also going to have Garrett Northcutt. And I know I'm missing one out there, and we'll get him in just a minute. Probably Colby Scholes out there, the captains for the Henley Hornets team. It looks like Lapine has won the toss. They are going to defer to Henley, and we'll find out what the call is. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Les Schwab Tires. If you plan on taking a road trip anytime soon, head on to any of the 3 Les Schwab Tires locations in the Basin, on Washburn, on South 6th, or out in Merrill. They'll give you a free pre-trip safety check and make sure everything is in working order at Les Schwab Tires. Henley, they won the toss, and they will, they lost the toss, got deferred to, and they will elect to receive. They're going to be defending the left goal tonight, which would be the north goal here at Lapine High School. Henley tonight in their white uniforms. They've got navy blue helmets with the yellow stripe down the middle, navy blue numbers and lettering on the front and back with yellow trim, and their white pants with the navy blue stripe down the side. For Lapine tonight, all navy blues from head to toe. They've got white lettering and trim, and some white trim along their sleeves on their uniforms tonight. As we are just about ready for football, my name is Josh Eldridge. I'm joined by Kevin Petrick. We've got Nick Bradford running the live stream tonight. I'm so glad that you are with us on this fine Friday evening. We are ready for football. Henley, they are going to have the chance to get the ball first. Back to receive, it's going to be number 6, Luke Bennett, a sophomore, standing 6'2", and number 18, Chris Janney, a sophomore, standing 5'11", 160 pounds. Back to receive for the Henley Hornets. The kick is up, and it is a booming kick, fielded inside the end zone, and a touchback. It looked like Luke Bennett wanted to take it out, but the official whistling it dead. It'll bring it out to the 20-yard line, and that is where Henley starts their first drive of the night.
Another first for the Hornets. I don't think we've had them start the game on offense. I think they've won the toss the majority of the season, so we'll get a chance to look at them right out of the gate here on offense.
Offensive starters for the Henley Hornets at the quarterback position. The junior standing 6'2", it's Shaw Stork. Stork with 7 touchdowns on the season, and also 442 passing yards so far this year as he is in the gun. 2 wide receivers set out to either side of Shaw, and he's got Tulsin Higgins off to his left. This is a handoff to Tulsin. He tries to find himself some room up the middle and pushes it forward for a gain of 5. So we've got Shaw Stork, Colton Smith, Owen Sheen. Those last 3 are receivers. Also, Austin Fitz going to be out there along with Colby Scholes. Tulsin Higgins is the running back for the Henley Hornets. Braden Morris is the starting center for Henley. On the line, it's Aiden Heslin, Owen Northcutt, Juan Manto, and Nate Tappan. It is 2nd and 5 for the Hornets from the 25. Stork has now got Higgins off to his right and set out to the near side. It is Colby Scholes. A run to the far sideline. Tulsin Higgins cuts upfield for a gain of about 1.5 yards. That'll bring up 3rd for the Hornets.
Lapine did a nice job chasing that down on the outside, and Henley's going to face it here 3rd and about 4. We should mention, too, that Emiliano Ortiz was hurt last week at the end of the ball game, and we'll see how his backup plays tonight.
3rd and 4 for the Hornets. 2 wide receivers set out to the near side. That is to Shaw Stork's right. Tulsin Higgins also off to the right side. Ball is snapped. A play-action pass. Owen Sheen catches on the near side, and he is hit at the 30. And I believe they're going to give Henley their first down of the night as they move the chains. That's good for a Henley first down.
I like that route. That's a little bit of football IQ there. Owen knew where the first down marker was. So did Shaw. They made a nice completion, just enough to get the first down.
1st and 10. Henley is just past the 30, not quite to the 31. Set out to the near side, it's Colby Scholes. Tulsin Higgins off to the right of Shaw Stork. And another play action pass, this time to the near side, far side, also caught by Owen Shane. Makes the reception and cuts upfield for another gain of 7 yards himself. That is good enough for a Henley. Well, they're going to see if they mark it and move the chains. That is good enough for a Henley first down, a 10-yard reception. Another connection between Shaw Stork and Owen Sheen. We saw that quite a bit last week as well.
Yeah, Coach Pashy seeing something he likes with Owen's matchup. They've gone to him twice in a row.
Sheen set up on the far side once again. Tulsin Higgins off to the right. Middle linebacker for Lapine looks to be moving. Shaw Stork feeling pressure. He rolls out to his right, makes another connection with Owen Sheen, about a 12-yard throw, and good for a Henley first down as Sheen on his third reception takes the ball safely out of bounds as Henley moves across midfield. It is now 1st and 10 from the Lapine 47.
Well done again by Henley. And what you're doing here is you're going to make the Hawks make some changes because you can't keep having Owen catch every pass on every down. So good work by the Hornets.
All three wide receivers now set up to Shaw Stork's left. Along out there is Tulsin Higgins. 1st and 10, the ball snapped, this time handed off to Higgins, who finds himself some room up the middle. He's up past the 40, dragged down at the 35, and a gain of 13 on the play for Tulsin Higgins. Good for another Henley first down.
There's some of that balance we were talking about. Pass, pass, pass. And then that time, nice run by Tulsin to the right side.
8th play of the drive coming up. Already 4 first downs. They're going 10 yards, 10 yards, 10 yards down the field are the Henley Hornets. 9:20 to go in the first quarter of a scoreless ball game. Henley is driving. 1st and 10 from the Lapine 35. Ball is snapped. Stork takes it. He rolls off to his left. It's a design keeper. He's able to cut upfield, and he gets there. He's up past the 20. Now gets inside the 15, out to the 10, inside the 5, and just short of the touchdown. Dragged out at about the 4-yard line, and a 30-yard rush for Shaw Stork.
It is very hard to account for a true running quarterback if you're a defensive coordinator. You have to almost put a spy on him, and if you don't do that, and he gets around the corner, you've got trouble.
Shaw Stork, 369 rushing yards on the season. That's good for 4th in the state at the 4A level. 1st and goal from the Hornets from the 4. A low snap. Shaw Stork takes it, rolls out to his right, and he is wrapped up and brought down in the backfield. A sack for the Lapine Hawks.
That play never had a chance. A little low snap, and by the time Shaw was able to bend over and pick that up, he had some Lapine Hawks in the near vicinity. So that'll be a big loss for Henley.
2nd and goal from about the 16-yard line. 4 wide receivers for Henley. Set out to the near side, it's Colby Scholes and Owen Sheen. Shaw Stork takes a snap, rolls to his right, feels the pressure, tries to get it to the end zone, and it is caught by Colby Scholes. A Henley touchdown.
Nice catch. That's Colton Smith in the front corner of the end zone. Good route, great throw. Shaw had a little pressure, was able to roll to his right and find Colton. Man, that's a good combination for the Hornets this year.
Hornets put up points with 8:13 to go in the first quarter, and now the special teams unit comes out to try to kick the extra point. The Hornets had a little bit of trouble converting on extra points last week. Sheen missing 3 opportunities, but he's here to try to kick the extra point once again. It is up, and it is no good, off to the left. So the score is 6-0 in the first quarter. 8:13 left to go in this first period. The Henley Hornets lead the Lapine Hawks. You've got the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
John Construction and Landscape Maintenance is in urgent need of landscape team members now. Call them at 541-205-1464 to apply. They're also looking for a construction team lead and a landscape maintenance team lead. They offer extremely competitive wages, paid vacation, and so much more. Call John Bowers Construction at 541-205-1464 to apply today. Email johnbowerslandscape@hotmail.com. TCB number 188923. Equal Opportunity Employer.
Welcome back to the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports. We've got 8:13 left to go in the first quarter, and the Henley Hornets lead 6-0. It was an 11-play drive lasting just under 4 minutes, punching it in with a Shaw Stork and Colton Smith connection from 16 yards out.
We've said it numerous times this season, but that was just what you wanted. Boy, that was a terrific opening drive by the Hornets.
For Shaw Stork, that is his 8th passing touchdown of the season. And now the Hornets and Owen Sheen to kick things off. It's up, and a good kick coming out from Owen Sheen. It is fielded at the 1. It is fielded at the 1. He walks back into the end zone. By rule, that probably should be played, but they're going to call it dead when he walks back into the end zone. It'll be 1st and 10 from the Lapine 20.
Get our first look at Henley's defense now and see exactly how much they learned from their videotape the last couple days.
The Henley Hornets defense spearheaded by number 34, senior 5'9", 170 pounds, Garrett Northcutt. Also out there is Owen Sheen. Also Colby Scholes out there as well. We'll get the starting defense for you in just a minute, as it is 1st and 10 from the Lapine 20 as they drive from right to left across your radio dial. Under center for Lapine, number 19, it's Colton Campbell. He takes the snap, drops back into the pocket, tries to throw it over the middle. The pass is incomplete. It's popped up, and Colton Smith comes away with it. Now he's trying to get back. He's back to the 30. There's a flag out. He's dragged out of bounds at the 20, but there is a flag down after the interception.
We noticed in the warm-ups, Colton Campbell, the quarterback for Lapine, strong arm, and he hummed that thing in there, and his receiver, it was thrown so hard that his receiver couldn't grab it, popped up in the air, and Colton Smith was right there for the interception.
Was that a holding call against Henley? So the interception, if it was after the interception, that should still stand. So it'll be Henley football. We'll just have to see where they mark it, depending on where the flag was thrown. So Henley creating a takeaway there. Colton Smith on the interception. It only took him one play to get the football back with 7:59 to go in the first quarter. The Hornets lead 6-0 over the Lapine Hawks.
Colton having a pretty good game so far. 4 minutes in with a touchdown and an interception.
Absolutely. 1st and 10. They're going to mark it at the 39 in Lapine territory. So Henley now driving from left to right. Two receivers to the near side for Shaw Stork, and two to the far side. Tulsin Higgins off to his left. And a flag thrown right before the play begins. And it's from the near judge, so we'll see what the call ends up being. I didn't see any movement. It's going to go against Henley. So bringing it back, it'll be 1st and 15 from the 44. Still in Lapine territory. Henley, great starting field position, courtesy of the Colton Smith interception. Henley coming out in the same set, though this time Tulsin Higgins to the right side of Shaw Stork. Stork takes the snap, drops back into the pocket, feels the pressure, unfurls one downfield. Austin Fitz had his hands on it. He bobbled it. He fell on it. And he completed that catch. Wow, that ball was loose. Fitz came down with it. That's a 15-yard reception for a Henley first down.
If you saw that on the live stream, you saw some pretty good concentration. Austin went up for it, made the catch, then bobbled it on his way down 2 or 3 times, rolled around, and ended up with a football. Nice catch.
1st and 10 from the 20. 3 receivers, including Austin Fitz, who just made that great catch off to the right side of Shaw Stork. He's feeling the pressure, rolls out into the pocket, dumps it off to the far side, and stepping out of bounds just before the first down marker, a gain of 8 on the play for the Hornets.
Nice little throw to Tulsin on the far side of the field. Shaw does a great job of selling his passes. He looked to the right as if he were going to throw that way, then snap back to the left. And there was Tulsin for a pickup of about 6.
2nd and 4. Hornets driving once more. 7:32 to go in the first quarter of a 6-0 ball game. Owen Sheen set out to the near side along with Colton Smith. Tulsin Higgins off to the right side of Shaw Stork as they drive from left to right. A low snap. Stork has to scramble with it. He feels pressure and he is brought down for the second time tonight. A big loss on the play. A loss of about 9. That will bring up 3rd and 12.
That's the second time they've had a rough go on the snap, and it'll put Henley at a 3rd and long.
The yard to gain is the 10. This ball being snapped from the about 29-yard line. .25-yard line. 3rd and long. Shaw Stork takes a snap. He's looking to his left. Looks over the middle to find Owen Sheen, who while in the air takes a big hit and drops the pass. That'll bring up 4th down for the Hornets.
There was nothing wrong with that play. Owen made a nice catch, and Jace Earls put the hammer on Owen, and he wasn't able to hang on to the ball. Good defensive play there by Jace. And we're kind of in that territory where even though it's 4th and about 15, Henley may go for it here.
It looks like they're keeping the offense out there.
It's a little long for a kick, a little short for a punt, so we'll see what happens.
In one of those situations where you might just want to huck it up, and if someone else comes down with it, it sort of functions as a punt anyway.
Sure.
4th and 12 to go for the Hornets. The ball snaps. Stork takes it, rolling to his right, feeling the pressure. Cuts upfield and throws it towards the end zone and overthrown. Turnover on downs as the Lapine Hawks will take over just right at their 25-yard line.
That was a good effort. Shaw bought himself a little time rolling to the right once again, but Lapine did a nice job with a little bit of pressure and then some good coverage downfield.
Henley had great starting field position on that drive. They started at the 39. You hate to throw away good field position like that, but Henley still up 6-0 with 6.5 to go in the first quarter. Campbell under center for the Lapine Hawks. He takes it, and it's a handoff up the middle and finding some room, and he's got nothing but room on the other side. That's going to be the running back, Adrian Boysha, who's going to take it all the way home for a Lapine touchdown. 75 yards, no flags on the field, and Lapine has just tied this ball game with 6:22 to go in the first.
That's a formation we haven't seen yet this year from an opponent. You can call that maybe a full house backfield. There were 3 backs. You got 2 lead blockers for Boysha there coming around the right side, and they only had 1 player split out. So they like to pack it in there, bunch it in, and it was successful.
Bit of a bang here on Lapine. I'm not sure what that was.
I think when you score here, you get the cannon.
Okay.
I hope.
I hope that's what that was too. So as we await the extra point from Lapine, we've got a tie ball game right now, and the Hawks looking to go for 2. It's a direct snap to Campbell. He tries to QB sneak his way up, and still awaiting a signal as the pile clears. It looks like he might be just short.
The players say yes. The officials say no.
Is that what they say? I have not seen a signal yet. Nope, it is no good. We are tied up at 6, even after the 75-yard Boysha rush. And so far, Lapine has run, 3 plays this game? One of them was an interception, one of them was a small gain, and the other has been a touchdown so far. So just about all the true outcomes you can have for Lapine so far.
We've had some fireworks here in more ways than one.
Quite literally, some fireworks happening tonight. That drive for Lapine was 2 plays and 8 seconds long, ending off with a 75-yard Adrian Boysha run, the senior, putting points on the board for the Hawks. And for the first time this season, the Henley Hornets are tied after being at 0-0 was the last time they've really been tied in any of these ball games.
Right.
So far, a test for the defense.
Right, and it's always good to see your team face a little bit of adversity. And Lapine wasted no time even in the score here. So we'll see how Henley responds.
Special teams out there for the Hornets. Back to receive, number 6, Luke Bennett, the sophomore, 6'2". And the kick is up. It is going towards Bennett, who fields it at about the 2. He's going to bring it out. He's coming up the near side, now cutting back towards the middle, now back to the near side. He gets up past the 25, and he is wrestled down by a gang of Hawks at about the 27-yard line. That's where Henley will take over to start their third drive of the game.
It's a nice run back by Luke. He was aggressive, didn't hesitate, and he brought the ball almost out to the 30.
Call it a 20. Well, they're marking it at the 29. It looks like he was brought down a little bit before that, but we'll give him the 28-yard return there. 1st and 10 for Henley at their own 29-yard line. Coming out to the near side for the Hornets. I believe that was Bennett, but play is stopped and a timeout called by Lapine. Going to stick with you through this one, and as we take a look around the league, some other games going on this evening. We'll keep close tabs on the Mazama Eagle Point game. You know, Kevin, Mazama is 1-2 on the season, but they've played some really good teams. We talked about it a little bit in the pregame show. It's our opponent next week, Mazama and Henley, the Southside Series. Always a great contest, especially when both teams are good. But you can't be looking at that game right now if you're Henley, and that was something that Coach Stork made sure to focus on in practice.
Sure. I mean, you're only human, and if next week's game is a local rivalry between 2 top 10 teams, it's hard not to look ahead to that game. But of course, you want to stay in the present and deal with the team you're facing on the field. So Henley so far is doing a good job of that.
Teams back out on the field. We're ready for football. It's 1st and 10 from the Henley 29. One receiver to the near side. It is Luke Bennett, and 2 to the far side for Shaw Stork. He's also got Tulsin Higgins off to his left. Stork awaiting the snap. He gets it, and a handoff to Higgins, who finds some room up the middle. He is going to fight forward for a gain of 11, and a Henley first down as he's dragged down at the 41.
You can't argue with that. Just good straight ahead running for about 11 yards.
Classic football, old school from Tulsin Higgins. 1st and 10 from the 41. The Hornets driving. This is their third possession of the game. The other 2 ending in a touchdown and then a turnover on downs. Same formation for the Hornets. First and 10. Stork takes a snap, drops back into the pocket, dumps it off to the far side. It's Owen Sheen. There is a flag down. Sheen, a 3-yard reception, but this one might be coming back.
Owen made a nice catch on the far side of the field. The flag was thrown clear on the near side, so we'll see what they decide.
Those are the types of things that Coach Stork would like to avoid, where there's a play on the other side of the field but a flag on the near side. And it is going against Lapine, so the 3-yard reception may turn into a few more yards for Henley.
It was a nice break for the Hornets. That penalty was a long way from the play on the other side of the field. Good break.
And we'll see if that ends up being a first down, and it will. For Henley tonight, moving the football real nice. 8 first downs, and we've seen that in the previous weeks. They've gotten, averaging about 14 first downs a game. We're only in the first quarter. They're already at 8. They're moving the ball nicely. They're chipping away at the Lapine Hawks.
Yeah, and I like the pace of the game. They're keeping their players on the field. They're signaling the calls from the sidelines and moving the football.
1st and 10 now on the other side of midfield. Henley's driving. They take it from the Lapine 40. This one another handoff, this time to Northcutt. Good for about 1.5 yards. That brings up 2nd down for Henley.
That didn't fool Lapine that time. Dawson Cook made a nice tackle. And a relatively short gain.
Northcutt going to stay out there. Owen Sheen, Austin Fitz, and Colton Smith on the far side. And on the near side, it's Luke Bennett. Stork with Northcutt to his left. Awaiting the snap. Takes it, it's a high snap. Handed off to Northcutt, trying to find his way up the near side. He sheds one defender, battles his way back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and 9 for Henley.
Garrett did a nice job just breaking that first tackle. It would have been a loss, but he did keep the positive figures with about a short gain, maybe 1 yard.
3rd down and 9 for Henley. 4.5 to go in the first quarter of a 6-6 ball game. We are all knotted up here in Central Oregon. Third down coming up for the Hornets. Bennett still to the near side, so is Sheen to the far side, and Fitz. Sheen takes the snap, drops back into the pocket, dumps it off on the far side to Northcutt. Northcutt sheds one defender, cuts upfield, and is taken down out of bounds for a gain of 10 on the play. Good for a Hornets first down. And a timeout is called.
There's a late flag after that play.
Was it on the sideline? I don't see the laundry out there.
It was on the sideline where Garrett was pushed out of bounds. Nice run by Garrett. One of Garrett's strengths is he's able to maneuver and cut and move unlike many backs his age. And he made a nice move to get outside and pick up that first down. Good carry.
As we get the official call. Is that pass interference against Henley? Was that against Northcutt? He didn't have a defender on him.
It might have been an illegal block. Maybe.
Oh, illegal block in the back, maybe?
Yeah, I believe that was probably the case.
That's right. Pass interference is 2 hands out. Block in the back is just 1. So this one is coming back. That was a good pickup by Northcutt. Unfortunate that this one is coming back.
They've had good success on 3rd and long. And they'll have to dial up another play.
So basically they're going to repeat this down as the 10-yard penalty brings them back. It'll be 3rd and 9 once more. Austin Fitz and Colton Smith to the near side. Northcutt still in the backfield with Shaw Stork. 3rd and 9. The yard to gain is the 45. Stork takes the snap, drops back into the pocket, feels the pressure, rolls out to his left, throws one downfield to Austin Fitz. He makes the reception. Good for a Hornets first down, about 15 yards downfield.
Shaw likes that move sometimes. Will actually have his back to the defense for a split second. He makes that kind of S. Come around and turn the other direction, buy himself some time. And Austin did a nice job with his route. He kept coming to the sideline on the side of the quarterback, found himself open, and a nice first down pickup.
1st and 10 for the Hornets. Still driving. It's Fitz and Smith to the near side. Still Northcutt out there, taking some running back reps for the Hornets. It's snap to Stork. He takes it himself, trying to cut up the near sideline. He's able to get there, sheds one defender, and he steps out of bounds just before getting to the 10, call it the 11. And that is good for a Henley first down, a gain of about 16 on the play for Stork.
I like that call. Coach Pashy, just when you think you've got it figured out, they run, they pass, and then you just hit the quarterback loose.
3:17 to go in the first quarter of a 6-6 ball game. 1st and 10 from the 11. Henley has shortened the field quite a bit. This is the 8th play of the drive coming up.
Tulsin back in there.
3 wide receivers to the left of Stork, 1 to the right. It's Bennett. Snap taken by Stork. He tries to roll to his left, feels pressure. Now going to his right, goes towards the end zone and overthrows his man Bennett. That'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Another good effort. Lapine's getting some penetration up the middle, and they're forcing Stork to one side or the other, and he's having to hustle a little bit more than he probably wants to. And he made a good decision that time to throw it only where his receiver could get it.
Sheen and Fitz to the far side, +1 out there, and Bennett to the near side. Like you said, Higgins back in it. 2nd and 10 from the Lapine 11-yard line. Henley driving toward the south goal. Snap taken by Stork. He's going to try to take it outside. Feels the pressure. Now tries to cut back up toward the middle. Bounces back outside, and Shaw Stork is taken down after a gain of 1. Trying to bounce around, trying to find room. He just doesn't get it. Advances the ball about a yard.
Good pursuit by Lapine. Shaw tried about every cut and move he could come up with on that one, and they were able to track him down.
2:45 and counting in the first quarter from Lapine High School. We are knotted up at 6 between the Hornets and the Hawks. 3rd down and 9. Henley at the 10-yard line. 3 receivers to the near side as they've flipped field position as the wide receivers Stork takes a snap, feeling pressure, sheds off one defender, now going to his right, tries to throw it towards the end zone, and it is incomplete. Intended target on the play was Bennett on the crossing route, and just could not rein it in. That brings up 4th for Henley.
That was a good ball by Stork. He put it right where he had to, and Luke just almost was able to get his hands underneath that and keep it for a touchdown. But instead, we've got a 4th down.
And it looks like it's going to be the field goal unit. Owen Shane going to attempt a 25-yard field goal here on 4th down. He hit 3 field goals in the first 2 games. Ever since then, the well has been dry. The kick is up, and it is good. Owen Sheen splits the uprights to give Henley a 3-point lead. They lead 9-6 with 2:10 to go in the first quarter.
That was a nice kick. There was no doubt about that from the get-go. That was right up the middle, strong enough, long enough. Well done by Owen. And it's good for the Hornets to get points there. They didn't get 6, but they don't come away empty, and that's what you want out of a drive.
That drive for the Hornets, 10 plays, taking off 4 minutes and 5 seconds off game clock. They lead now 9-6 with 2:10 to go in the first quarter. And we're seeing Shaw have to scramble quite a bit more in this game than we have in games past. But he's looking good on scrambling and trying to find the open guy downfield. I said this in my talk show earlier today, based in Sports Talk, that Henley has not had to feel rushed so far this season, so the game has been able to be slow for them. Not that they play slow,
right,
but Shaw Stork slows the game down with his vision, and he's been sped up, but he still played calm tonight.
Yeah, I'm surprised how he's very confident. He's very, even when there's a load of people coming at him, he's still very confident, and he makes good decisions.
Henley's up 9-6, 2:10 to go in the first quarter. And the kick is up. Lapine going to field it at the 1-yard line. Trying to bring it back across the field. Now getting to the 20. Brought down at the 22. On the return is number 20, Dylan Hankey, a senior. Brings it out about 19 yards on the return, and that's where Lapine will take over at their own 21-yard line.
Well done by Chris Janney making the tackle. He's a good special teams player. And we'll see him play a little receiver and defense as well.
First and 10. He's a little bit further than the 21. Mark it at the 23-yard line. First and 10 for Lapine. Last drive for the Hawks, ending in 6. A 75-yard Adrian Boysha run. First and 10 for the Hawks. It is snap. Handed off to Boysha again. He tries to find some room on the far side of the field, but he is swallowed up after a gain of 1. Second down for Lapine.
Owen Northcutt at the bottom of the pile with a good tackle.
Call it 2nd and 7 on the play. Coming up as Campbell going to the sideline to get the call. Coming to the near side for Lapine, it is Jace Earls, a senior wide receiver. In the backfield, you've got Dawson Cook and Adrian Boysha out there with Campbell, the quarterback. And Campbell going to hand it off to Boysha once more. Finds his way up about 3 yards on the play. 3rd and 4 coming up.
I saw Janney and Sieben over there on the tackle. And Lapine runs that they will overbalance to one side. They will make a strong side, and they will run behind a series of running backs with that tailback. So Henley will have to account for that strategy.
Third and 3. 39 seconds to go in the first quarter. This one, it looks like Campbell just tried to shove the line forward a few yards, and it looks like he got there enough for a first down. We'll see where they mark it when things are all said and done. That will be a Lapine first down. Call it a gain of 4 on the play.
Lapine's starting to do a pretty good job on their offensive line, getting that push. And the Hornets interior will have to shore that up a little bit.
15 seconds in counting in the first quarter. Henley leads 9-6. Likely going to see the last play of the quarter here. Campbell under center once more. 1st and 10. He takes the snap and play action pass, this time to the near side, and it is incomplete. The intended target, Dawson Cook, and Campbell threw it just a couple of feet in front of him, unable to rein that in. There is 1 second left on the first quarter clock, so we'll get one more play before the start of the second quarter. 2nd and 10 coming up for LaPine.
Colby Scholes was out there with the coverage, and it was just enough for the ball to drop incomplete.
And packed in close are the LaPine Hawks. Load them up on the line and 2 wide receivers in tight. It's a toss to the near side, and it looks like Cook, the running back, slipped on some of the natural grass that we've got here at LaPine High School. Mark it a loss of 2, and that brings us to the end of the first quarter. Henley leads the LaPine Hawks 9-6. You've got the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 4-3 and 960 Sports.
There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
And we welcome you back to 104.3 and 960 Sports with HD video on MyBasin.com. It's 3rd and 10 for LaPine as we rejoin the action. Campbell takes the snap and dumps it off to Cook down the middle. He gains about 9 yards on the play, but still short of the first down. That'll bring up 4th for LaPine. And late back joining the action, it was a 3rd and long. It was a good completed pass over the middle to Dawson Cook, but still short of the first down marker. The yard to gain is the Henley 45, and they are at the 43-yard line. So 4th and about 2 to go for LaPine. It looks like they're keeping the offense out there.
It was a good tackle by Colby Scholes. He saved the first down there. He found a leg and he hung on and didn't let him advance the ball, and we will see a 4th down try here.
First 4th down conversion attempt of the night for LaPine, and Henley will take a timeout. We're going to stick with you through this one. As so far tonight for LaPine, they are 0 for 1 on 3rd down conversions, in which we just saw they've not tried a 4th down conversion. So far tonight, Henley is 0 for 1 on both counts on 3rd and 4th down. So, Kevin, I'm already getting text messages from folks watching the game tonight, and all of them are saying we're in for a good one tonight. LaPine so far hanging with the Hornets. It's the first time that Henley has had a game like this.
It's very entertaining, and you can see that LaPine has some talent. They will score the football, and we know that Henley can. So we have 3 good quarters ahead of us. I'm guessing the first thing that the coaches were telling Henley here, do not jump. This is one of those situations where it's 4th down, less than 5 yards, and they're going to try to draw us off. We'll see if we can stay disciplined here.
Exactly, like you said, discipline in the pregame show when you've got the home crowd, which is fairly sizable tonight at LaPine High School, a good student section. The discipline is key on a 4th down play like this. 4th and about 2 to go for the LaPine Hawks. Campbell under center for LaPine. It's snapped and tossed, and a punt downfield. That was a trick play that got everyone. The punt bounces out to the 10, kicks towards the end zone, and a touchback. And that was an interesting kind of play. They direct snap to the quarterback who is under center. He tosses it to the punter who goes up and kicks a punt.
That was a creative move, and I do think they were trying to draw Henley. You could see the quarterback kind of barking his signals in an odd cadence, and once that didn't work, a little flip back to the back for the punt. So a nice piece of field position by LaPine.
Lucky for Henley, the ball rolled into the end zone, so they're going to take over 1st and 10 at their own 20 with 11:09 to go in the second quarter. The Hornets lead the Hawks 9-6. Last drive for Henley, ending in a field goal, a 25-yard field goal from Owen Sheen. The Hornets sure looking to add 6. And a hard count, they get the Hawks to jump. There's laundry all over the field, and this one going to move up just a bit for Henley.
You may be able to hear in our headsets, one thing about Lapine, the wind plays a factor here.
Yes, it does.
And it will gust from time to time, and with the flip-flop of the sides at the quarter, Lapine has the wind here in the second quarter, so that could play a little bit into the hands of the passing game.
It is 1st and 5 from the Lapine 25. Stork takes the snap. It is a play-action pass thrown over the middle to Austin Fitz, and he gets a gain of about 10, maybe more on the play. It is good for a Henley first down.
We like that play action, and Austin does a nice job. He's learning to find that. He finds space, and he's big enough. If he can find space, he's a big target, and that was a nice gain.
1st and 10 for the Hornets from the 40, still on their own side of midfield. Stork takes the handoff, hands it off to Whitlock. He bounces through the middle. He bounces off one defender, now cuts up the far sideline. He's up past midfield and gets to the 40 before being taken out of bounds. A gain of 20 on the play for Bailey Whitlock on his first play from scrimmage.
What a strong run. He showed both strength and speed. He broke an early tackle and then he was gone. Nice pickup.
1st and 10, Henley now on the other side of midfield as they drive from right to left across your screen, headed toward the north. 1st and 10 from the Lapine 40. Stork takes the snap, gonna hand it off to Whitlock again, who cuts up the middle and dives forward for a gain of about 7 on the play, maybe 8. That'll bring up 2nd down for the Hornets.
Good push there by the line for Henley, and I'm just constantly impressed with the running back core. They go 3, 4, 5 deep here. And Logan with a nice pickup again, 2nd and about 3.
Sheen and Chris Janney out to the near side for the Hornets. 2nd and short for Henley. Snapped, it's a low snap again for Stork. He's got a scramble, he's gonna try to cut up to the near side. He's got some blocks, cuts upfield at the 35, is brought down at the 39. Maybe gain of 1 on the play, that brings up 3rd down for the Hornets.
That was a good try to make something out of nothing there. He got some nice blocking actually from Tulsin. He's a good blocker. Higgins back there. And we've got 3rd and short.
You know, for a broken play there on the low snap, the wide receivers for Henley did a great job of keeping the blocks up for Shaw so he could at least get that 1 yard.
They do block well on the outside, I've noticed.
The near receiver for the Hornets, it's number 28, Colby Scholes. It is 3rd and 1. Higgins in the backfield, and a timeout called by the Henley Hornets. We're going to stick with you through this one with 8:46 to go in the second quarter. Henley leads 9-6. This game brought to you in part by Harbor Isles Tennis and Fitness Club. They've got certified personal trainers. They've got pickleball courts, tennis courts, a bunch of personal trainers and group exercise classes. If you're trying to get maybe in shape headed into winter, Harbor Isles Tennis and Fitness Club is definitely the place to go. Also, Harbor Links Golf Course, it is looking greener than ever. Kevin, I don't know if you're much of a golfer, but this time in fall, although it does get cold through the morning, Harbor Links Golf Course looks really good right now. I played out on Sunday. I parred 5 of the first 6 holes. Felt
Nice.
really good. The wheels fell off after that. Played one of my worst games I've ever played.
When I golf, I shoot about 300, which is a good bowling score.
Yeah, that is a great bowling score. One of the best, I'd say.
But not so much for golf.
Yeah. Teams are back out on the field. It is 3rd and short for the Hornets. Tulsin Higgins in the backfield. And Lapine looking to maybe send the house. 3rd and short. Yard to gain is the 30. They take it from the 31. Trying to hard count it seems as Stork takes the snap, hands it off to Higgins, who battles forward. He gets the first down and then some. They're having trouble taking him down. He fights forward for about a gain of 7 on the play. Mark him down at the 23, and there is a very late flag out in the pile. It's thrown by the near side judge, so he must have seen something that no one else did.
When Higgins gets momentum, he is tough to bring down. And you can see that right there. He had a hold of him probably 3 or 4 yards from when he picked up the ball, but he went for another 5 or 6 after that.
And this one is going against Lapine. So the first down will stand, and for the Hornets, that is their 14th first down of the night. You know, they average about 14 first downs per game, already hitting that mark with 8:38 to go in the second quarter. They're up 9-6.
They're getting the play from the sideline now.
So as the penalty goes against Lapine, it puts Henley 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line as the wind starts to pick up here in Central Oregon. 1st and 10 for the Hornets. Stork takes a snap, rolling to his right, feeling some of the pressure, has to wrap back around to his left, gets around the official, and tries to throw it out of bounds, and he does. Stork takes a late hit. No flag down. Second down coming up for the Hornets. It'll be 2nd and 10.
That was a strange play. Stork got a nice little screen from the official, and he used that to get himself open a little bit. And then he threw the ball kind of in an area where nobody was, and then a Lapine player kind of hit Shaw a little late. So both coaches are upset here.
Right, and understandably so. The coach for Lapine is out there, and I don't think that's Coach Bo DeForest. He talking to the official, like you said, setting a perfect screen for him if we're talking about basketball. That was right in his way. And I think he's also curious about maybe an intentional grounding call, whether or not he was outside of the tackle box. But again, I feel like he was, but we ran into a similar situation last week.
Yeah, he definitely is not happy with that call. He's out in the middle of the field now discussing it with the official.
And, we can't necessarily call New York here in Lapine, so the play is going to stand as it is.
Right.
As it looks like Lapine is ready to go again. Their players still out on the field. Coach Stork and Coach Patchy out there talking to their offense.
So after all that, it's just an incomplete pass, and we have 2nd down and 10.
2nd and 10 from the 13. The Hornets driving here. This is the 7th play of the drive coming up. Higgins in the backfield, off to Stork's left. He's got 2 wide receivers, 3, set up in trips to the far side. Snap goes to Stork. He's trying to cut up the near sideline, finds some blocks, tries to find his way up the middle, gets to the 5 and dragged down at the 4. Stork staying up behind his line, and he does such a good job of staying patient and letting the boys up front do the work.
Yeah, he is a good runner. And I like that formation that time. There were triplets to the far side, and they were bunched tight like something was going on over there, and then the play came to the other side. So nice little bit of decoy there.
Stork, even after the good run, still short of the first down. That brings up 3rd and a long 2. Same formation coming out for the Hornets. Stork takes a snap, hands it off to Higgins, who battles his way into the end zone for a Henley touchdown.
That was a big hole. The line did a nice job on that drive, controlling the line of scrimmage.
Call that a 4-yard touchdown for Tulsin Higgins. And now Owen Sheen on to try the extra point, trying to put the Hornets up by 10. The kick is up, and it is good. The Henley Hornets lead by 10. They're up 16-6 over Lapine with 7.5 to go in the second quarter. You've got the MyBasin.com Game of the Week, 104.3 and 90 Sports.
Trying to lose some weight and get in shape? Harbor Isles Tennis and Fitness Club provides a clean and friendly workout environment with professional and experienced staff to help you achieve your goals. They offer state-of-the-art equipment, indoor tennis and pickleball courts, certified personal trainers, tons of group exercise classes. They're the best exercise facility in the Klamath Basin. Plus, they now have a smoothie bar to give you a nutritious boost after your workout. See and feel the difference at Harbor Isles Tennis and Fitness Club. It's the place to be.
And we welcome you back to 104.3 960 Sports. It's the MyBasin.com Game of the Week, where the Henley Hornets lead 16-6 with 7.5 minutes to go. That last drive for Henley lasting just over 3.5 minutes. Took them 8 plays, and Tulsin Higgins punched in his 4-yard touchdown. And for Tulsin Higgins, 6 touchdowns on the season.
I really like on that drive, we called a lot of names. A lot of kids, they had 2 or 3
It's like that every week.
Yeah, they had 2 or 3 running backs, a few receivers, quarterback, couple runs. Nice drive.
And after Henley puts up 7, it's now Lapine's turn as the kick from Owen Sheen is up, fielded at the 8 and bobbled, rolls out to about the 13 and wrapped up at the 15. Unable to really get anywhere as play is stopped right after the 13, as he might have got up to the 16, 17-yard line. They might mark it at the 19 if they're being generous. That's what it looks like. We'll see where they place it as Lapine takes over 1st and 10 with 7:28 to go in the half.
Good special teams coverage. Connor Sieben down there in a hurry. Keeping the Hawks deep.
So they mark it at the 19. That is where Lapine will take over 1st and 10 with 7.5 to go in the second quarter. Henley leads 16-6. Campbell takes a snap, hands it off to his running back who's trying to bounce around out to the outside. That was Adrian Boysha on a gain of 10. We'll see if they give him the first down or maybe it's short, just 9. And that will be. They're going to mark it a gain of 9, so 2nd and 1 coming up for the Hawks.
Henley defense looked a little bit confused there. Some of the players were shifting just as the ball was being snapped. I'm sure they'll figure that out.
Boysha on the carry. He's already got 1 touchdown tonight. Came from the big 75-yarder early in the first quarter. 2nd and short. Boysha taking it again, this time trying to fight up the middle, bounces out to the near side. The ball falls loose on the tackle, and unsure who fell on it. Henley seems to think it's theirs, and it is.
There's Colby Scholes coming up with another big play. He falls on it for the Hornets.
Henley gifted with more great field position, as this one is going to be marked at the 26-yard line, maybe the 27. We'll call it the 27. 7:13 to go in the half. And the Hornets get another chance on offense. Their last drive ending in 6, capping off with a 4-yard Tulsin Higgins touchdown. 1st and 10 from the Lapine 27. Shaw Stork takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to Higgins, who cuts up to the near side. He fights off a couple of defenders and steps out of bounds after a gain of 5. That brings up 2nd down for the Hornets.
Another good, tough run by Higgins. And we'll see how quickly Henley gets on the ball here.
2nd down and 6. So just short of a 5-yard gain, and we'll call it 4 for Tulsin Higgins on the ground. He's 9th in the state in rushing coming into tonight's contest. 2nd down and 6 to go for Henley. Getting the call from Coach Patchy now as it looks like they tried a hard count, didn't work. They're switching things up. 3 wide receivers to the far side, and Tulsin Higgins also off to the right of Stork. Ball is snapped. Stork finds himself with some room in the pocket, trying to cut up to the right side, the far side. He's trying to find his man, and he does, but the pass falls incomplete, intended for Owen Sheen on the far sideline. There's a flag down toward midfield. Landed at about the 15-yard line, which is where Sheen would have made the reception, although quite a ways away from where the flag is.
Yeah, another flag clear across the field from where the play was being made. And that's going to be on the Hornets. Maybe an illegal man downfield.
Could be with the blockers, and that is exactly what it's going to be against the Hornets. This will bring them back. Second and very long now for Henley, and third down and about 11 yards. The yard to gain is the 23-yard line, just about. And they're taking it from the 30, just past the 30. Third down and long for the Hornets. Stork feels some pressure, rolls to his right, unloads one downfield intended for Austin Fitz. Put a little bit too much mustard on that one. It brings up third down. I must have been mistaken on the far down. It said second. I thought it was second. They changed it to third, and now it's third down again.
That was just a little bit of a timing problem on that route. Austin was not yet to the sidelines where I think Shaw expected him to be. And we have third and about 12.
So it is third down, and just as you said, 12 to go. Bennett and Sheen set to the near side for the Hornets. Tulsin Higgins also off to the left of Shaw Stork. Austin Fitz on the far side. And it looks like we may have a timeout called by the Henley Hornets. And we do with 6:10 to go in the second quarter. This drive for Henley has been a little bit slower. They took the ball over with 7:13 to go. It's only been about a minute. They've run 2 plays in the time since they've had the football. I don't think they're necessarily stalling, but making sure that they can hold on to this lead, especially with great field position. This happened to them earlier in the game where they gave up the good field position and ended up turning it over on downs. Definitely don't want that again for your coach Stork, and I'm sure that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, this is actually a pretty big down here. You want to come away with some points, and the wind has kicked up, so a field goal may not be as easy from this spot. So we may be in 2-down territory. He may want to pick up a little bit and try it on 4th, or go for the whole thing right here.
The wind blowing in almost directly from the north, where Henley is driving towards the north goal right now from right to left across your screen. 3rd and 12. Teams back out onto the field. Bennett and Sheen to the near side. That would be off to the left of Shaw Stork. Stork, the junior, takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to Bailey Whitlock again, who battles forward for a gain of about 4 on the play, and it brings up 4th and 8.
So they were thinking 2 tries here.
And same situation Henley finds themselves in as they did with 6.5 to go in the first quarter. Same sort of drive. They were gifted good field position, and they turned it over on downs. Now going for it on 4th again. They're already 0 for 1 on 4th down conversions tonight. Stork takes the snap, looks to his left, and tries to go downfield to Colton Smith, but the pass falls incomplete, and another turnover on downs for the Hornets.
That was another bit of miscommunication. Stork throwing to the middle of the field. He didn't have a receiver there. Owen Sheen was headed that way, and he kind of turned his route in, and Shaw threw it deeper. And give credit to Lapine. Their defense stiffened up there and didn't allow any points despite the field position advantage for the Hornets.
Hornets 0 for 2 on 4th down conversions now this evening. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Lapine Hawks from their own 25-yard line. 5:25 to go in the second quarter. The Henley Hornets lead 16-6. Campbell moves from the gun now to under center. No backs in the backfield with him. He puts a man in motion, and a snap. Campbell is going to try to keep it. He trudges upfield, hard to take the man down, and finally, I believe Northcutt in on the tackle after a gain of 6 for Campbell.
That was a pretty bruising run for a quarterback. He dished out a little punishment on that one, picked himself up 5 yards.
Second down and about 4 to go. The yard to gain is the 35. Lapine taking it from the 32. Campbell has it back there with him now. He's off to his left. Campbell takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to Cook, who battles his way forward for a big gain. Call it about 13 yards on the run. Brings it up to the 43 and good for a Lapine first down.
Matthew McCoy did a nice job following that play, coming from the line and coming up from behind to make the stop. Could have been even a longer run without his effort there.
First and 10. Lapine still in their own territory at about the 43-yard line. .409 and counting in the second quarter, a game in which Henley leads the Hawks 16-6. Campbell under center. He's going to hand it off to the fullback, who battles forward, takes some Hornets along for the ride for a gain of 9, just short of the first down. And it looked like carrying that one for the Hawks would be Dawson Cook.
Garrett Northcutt in on the stop. That's really close to a first down. I guess we're a couple yards short.
Call it a gain of 9 on the play, 2nd and 1 for the Hawks. And it's going to be Cook in the backfield once more with Campbell. Set out to the near side, Mike Brown, the wide receiver. Along with, I believe that's DeLuca. A rush up the middle, good for a first down and then some for Lapine. They whistled the play dead after a gain of about 7. Bringing it up past the 45 to about the 42-yard line. The 43, 1st and 10. Coming up for Lapine.
That was Garrett Northcutt with a good form tackle. Stopping momentum on that play.
5th first down of the night for the Hawks. Compare that to 14 in the first half for the Hornets. 3:05 in counting in the first half. 16-6, Henley leads. Both backs in the backfield for Campbell. 1st and 10. And they send Cook out. Campbell keeping it himself once more, and a gain of 4, maybe 5 on the play.
That's a pretty easy way to pick up 5. That was just a mass of bodies heading down the field. The quarterback, Colton Campbell, would you say he's the biggest player on the field?
Well, looking in their huddle right now, it looks like he's definitely at least the tallest player on his team.
Yeah, for those of you not watching the stream, he's a big kid.
2nd and 4. Smith going to hand it off to Boysha. He tries to dive through and gains about 3 yards on the play. That brings up 3rd and 2.
Benny Scott made his way into the trench that time and made the tackle. Here's a key 3rd down. About 2 minutes to play here in a half.
Henley leads 16-6. Well, they bring it back just about a yard, so it'll be 3rd and 4.
It's a big 3rd down.
Yes, Campbell not under center. It looks like he is in the gun. He's got 2 wide receivers to the near side, one to the far side, and this one a quick screen, and it is caught. Looks like just short of the first down. We'll see where they mark it.
If he hadn't have bobbled that catch, he would have had the first. It was just enough to slow him up. We're going to see a 4th down.
And a timeout called by Lapine on this big 4th down and 2 coming up. You're on the other side of midfield. You're down by 10. Are you thinking that they might I feel like this is 4-down territory, at least on this side of midfield. We've seen a lot of that in football across all levels as of late.
Yeah, they'll try that tricky count again. And then I don't think we'll see him kick here, though. I think they will call a play and try to go for it. This is a big down. You could get yourself within 3 points here before half.
There's a minute 28 to go in the quarter. Henley leads 16-6. The Hornets D back out onto the field. And here comes the Lapine O.
We'll watch here, see if the Hornets bring some players for a blitz or if they hold back here.
And it looks like Lapine, they are packing up the line. And with Campbell under center, let's see if he ends up keeping the football. It's snapped, and he does. He tries to plunge forward. The mass of bodies goes forward about 4 yards. Good enough for a Lapine first down.
That was a good call by the Hawks. That play's worked. That quarterback keeper up the middle pretty much get 4 and 5 yards every time. So a nice bit of play calling by Lapine, and they have a new set of downs with a minute 19.
Hawks now 1 for 2 on fourth down conversions tonight. It's 1st and 10. They are driving toward the south goal. Campbell takes a snap, drops back into the pocket, feels pressure, decides to dump it off left. The catch is made for about 9 yards, but not much further, as Henley right there for the stop.
Good news is Tulsin was right there to make the tackle. Bad news is they made the catch, and they're moving the football pretty consistently now.
2nd and 4 for Lapine. Campbell takes a snap, play action pass. He thinks about taking it himself. He's feeling pressure, rolls out to his left, throws it on the run towards the end zone. The pass falls incomplete in the end zone. Great defense downfield by the Hornets.
Campbell actually had 2 receivers on that line in the end zone for a touchdown, and Janney made a nice play to kind of get his hands up there and wave his arms in the way of the football, and neither receiver was able to snag it. Good defensive play back there.
3rd down and 4 for Lapine. And coming up at halftime, which is 33 seconds away, we'll round out this game for you, give you the stats as we have them, while also taking a look around the area. We've got a halftime score from Mazama and Eagle Point that we'll share with you coming up in the halftime show. But right now, short yardage situation, 3rd and short. Campbell takes a snap for Lapine, has all day to throw, finally feeling some pressure, wrapped up and brought down in the backfield by Colby Scholes.
A nice sack by Colby, and he made the right move there. Go low, try to knock the feet out from under a big quarterback, and that worked to perfection. Big loss.
Big loss, and that brings up 4th down for Lapine. 4th and a mile. About 19 yards to go. They're calling it officially 18 yards. Campbell takes a snap. They kept the offense out there. Campbell feeling pressure. He tries to move it himself. Still behind the line of scrimmage, unloads one towards the end zone, and it is caught in the end zone by Luke Bennett. He decides to take it out of the end zone. He's coming up past the 10, now to the 15, brings it out to the 20, cuts back to the near sideline, dodges 3 defenders before finally being taken out. And that brings us to the end of the first half, and what an exciting way to end it with a Luke Bennett interception. It doesn't amount to much. Henley doesn't get the offense back out. It does stop a touchdown. The score 16-6 after 24 minutes. We're going to step aside. When we come back, it's time to recap the game as we have it on the halftime show coming up on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
Sure glad we went to Les Schwab.
I'm glad the baby's still happy.
Well, I'm just glad that along with tires, Les Schwab also does brakes, alignment, and a bunch of other safety services. I mean, if we'd gone to a cheap tire store instead, I'd be a doggone wreck.
My thoughts exactly.
Swing by today and get road trip ready with our always free pre-trip safety check. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
You're
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
Trying to lose some weight and get in shape? Harbor Isles Tennis and Fitness Club provides a clean and friendly workout environment with professional and experienced staff to help you achieve your goals. They offer state-of-the-art equipment, indoor tennis and pickleball courts, certified personal trainers, tons of group exercise classes. They're the best exercise facility in the Klamath Basin. Plus, they now have a smoothie bar to give you a nutritious boost after your workout. See and feel the difference at Harbor Isles Tennis and Fitness Club. It's the place to be.
And welcome you back to Lapine High School, the site of tonight's MyBasin.com Game of the Week. After 24 minutes, the Henley Hornets lead the Lapine Hawks 16-6. My name is Josh Eldridge. I'm joined tonight by Kevin Petrick, my friend Nick Bradford running the live stream tonight. Kevin, so far, Henley a pair of touchdowns. They've also got the field goal. Lapine one touchdown thus far. They failed to convert the extra point. It's been a fairly balanced game, though, thus far for both teams.
I would agree. Both teams have players now. We've seen that. So I think the key to the first half is the takeaways. Henley came off very well the takeaway department. They had an early interception, they had a fumble recovery at the end of the half, another interception to stop a drive. So if they can win the battle of the takeaways, that's going to go a long way toward them winning. And I think we're going to see some adjustments by both teams, and the teams with the best adjustments will have the most success. Both teams have players. Yeah.
More numbers of note so far. Henley tonight, a lot of their gains have been for just about 10 yards, 11 yards. A lot of first downs tonight for Henley, 14 to be exact for the Hornets. Compare that to 5 to Lapine. They've moved the ball in big bursts behind their quarterback, Campbell, their running back, Boysha. What are you seeing from some of these actual, these named players for Lapine, the guys that are doing the big plays?
Yeah, Lapine's doing things right. They're tough enough. I mean, they hit and they tackle just as the Henley players do, probably better than any of the three teams we've seen this year. Lapine will hit you, and they have good blocking schemes. They kind of run a power running game for the most part, and Henley hasn't seen that, but they're adjusting to it. And the second half, we'll see if they can stop that run, and especially that little quarterback sneak that is getting 4, 5, 6 yards a pop.
Henley started tonight off with an 80-yard drive that took them just about 4 minutes, 11 plays, capping it off with a Colton Smith and Shaw Store connection. That put them up 6-0. The next score came from Lapine. They got 6 as well, failed to convert the extra point after a 75-yard Adrian Boysha rush. Henley came back. They took the lead right back after a 25-yard field goal from Owen Shane. That drive took 10 plays. It, again, capped off with a 25-yard field goal. Teams traded possessions for a little while before Henley got the ball back with 11:09 to go in the second quarter. They drove for just about 3 minutes, 8 plays. They went 80 yards. They capped it off with a 4-yard Tulsin Higgins touchdown rush, his 6th of the season. And then a fumble for Lapine and another turnover. Henley up in the turnover battle 3-0. And right now they are leading 16-6. Henley looking to hold on to this lead. What do you expect to see from them here as we look forward to the second half?
Well, more than any game this year, if you look at the Hornets at the far end of the field there, they're in pretty deep conversation. So the offensive group, the defensive group, they definitely have some ideas of how they want to improve their game in the second half.
And you can see that deep conversation there. And if you tune on over to our live stream, if you go on over to mybasin.com, we've been streaming this game live since the beginning, and we'll continue to do so tonight with HD video. The cool thing is it's hosted on YouTube. It's totally free. You can watch it on your desktop, your phone. You can get it on your tablet as well. If you've got a smart TV, whether you have a smart TV or a Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, whatever it is, if you have the YouTube app, you can get us on the big screen. Maybe you've got a game console as well, PlayStation, Xbox, any of that stuff. You can also get the YouTube app and follow the Henley Hornets all season long. Subscribe to our YouTube page, totally free as well. You'll be updated when we go live each and every week with Henley football. And as we round out the non-league season, Henley leads Lapine right now 16-6. We'll give you an idea of what is going on elsewhere in the state. Mazama is at halftime with Eagle Point. We'll give you that halftime score coming up as well on the mybasin.com game of the week on 104th and 960 Sports.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and little league teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between. We keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
Sure glad we went to Les Schwab.
I'm glad the baby's still happy.
Well, I'm just glad that along with tires, Les Schwab also does brakes, alignment, and a bunch of other safety services. I mean, if we'd gone to a cheap tire store instead, I'd be a doggone wreck.
My thoughts exactly.
Swing by today and get road trip ready with our always free pre-trip safety check. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
And we welcome you back to the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports. The score at halftime tonight, the Henley Hornets lead the Lapine Hawks 16-6. Some other games going on around the area. Of course, we're always looking at Mazama. Last we know, they are at halftime and up 14-13 over Eagle Point. The Vikings looking to even things up for their season at 2-2 if they're able to beat the Eagles this evening. Some other scores, number 2 in the 4A, Marist, is up against Cascade Christian 21-0. They're at halftime. St. Mary's, also Medford Area School, they're up 29-0 on the road against Harrisburg. And those are the halftime scores that we've got tonight. Just taking a look around at some of the other games going on, although we don't have scores for the Klamath Union and Modoc game they are playing tonight. KU still searching for their first win on the season. Hidden Valley on the road this evening. They're playing Sweet Home. The Mustangs looking to improve to 2-1 there. North Valley against Elmira tonight as we look toward the Basin. 2 games happening tomorrow afternoon. Chiloquin and Perrydale and Lost River on the road against Myrtle Point. And Kevin, I want to bring it back to the Skyline Conference because in these non-conference games, I find myself always rooting for these teams, whether it is Mazama or Phoenix or Klamath Union. The Skyline Conference is always good, and this year, Henley, Mazama, Hidden Valley is going to be good with a quarterback like Nate Vidlak. I love the competition heading into league play next week.
Yeah, the Skyline's always a great conference. There's a lot of parity. Mazama, of course, has been strong the last few years, but it's a good conference with 3 teams in Klamath. You have nice rivalries built in. It really is a lot of fun to watch.
Mention that number 2 Marist is at halftime tonight. They are again number 2 in the state, behind Marshfield, still the number 1 team in the 4A. Estacada is rated number 3, and Cascade follows them at 4. Banks is number 5. The crosstown rival Mazama Vikings falling out of the top 5 last week. They find themselves at 6 this week. Henley, right behind them, the Hornets sneaking themselves into the top 10 on the coaches poll for the first time this season. LeGrand, Seaside, and Tillamook are 8, 9, and 10. Just to give you an idea of where some of these numbers are so far tonight, Shaw Stork is 4th in the state in passing yards coming into tonight at just under 450 yards, completing 63% of his passes. Shaw Stork is also 3rd in the state coming into tonight's game with 7 touchdowns. He has got 1 more tonight, so make it 8 for him on the season, and we'll find out where he places in terms of the state come Monday. Shaw Stork also 4th in the state in rushing yards on 21 carries. He's gone 369 yards. He's also got 4 rushing touchdowns, does Shaw Stork. Colton Smith also getting his 4th receiving touchdown of the night. That's good for 5th in the state of Oregon. We've still got football left to be played from Lapine tonight as we are under the Friday night lights. A smoke-free evening in Central Oregon. We've got the second half of action coming up next on 104.3 and 960 Sports at half. Henley leads 16.
Sure glad we went to Les Schwab.
I'm glad the baby's still happy.
Well, I'm just glad that along with tires, Les Schwab also does brakes, alignment, and a bunch of other safety services. I mean, if we'd gone to a cheap tire store instead, I'd be a doggone wreck.
My thoughts exactly.
Swing by today and get road trip ready with our always free pre-trip safety check. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
Trying to lose some weight and get in shape? Harbor Isles Tennis and Fitness Club provides a clean and friendly workout environment with professional and experienced staff to help you achieve your goals. They offer state-of-the-art equipment, indoor tennis and pickleball courts, certified personal trainers, tons of group exercise classes. They're the best exercise facility in the Klamath Basin. Plus, they now have a smoothie bar to give you a nutritious boost after your workout. See and feel the difference at Harbor Isles Tennis and Fitness Club. It's the place to be.
Welcome back to the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports. The score at halftime tonight, the Henley Hornets lead the Lapine Hawks 16-6. We are nearing the start of the third quarter. And Kevin, you can see him across the way just a little bit. The folks from Henley traveling pretty well up Highway 97 tonight over there on the hump as you described it. They're quite a ways away from the field, but it is nice that everyone traveled out here to get up here in Lapine.
Henley always supports their teams. It's nice to see them out tonight. Good crowd over there. I'm a big fan of that bump over there. It kind of reminds me of the Little League World Series, although I don't see anybody sliding down on boxes or anything. But it's kind of a nice place to sit. You can actually get a blanket out and sit and watch the game, and it makes it kind of a fun way to take in the football tonight.
Well, so far they've watched their team beat Lapine 16-6 through the first 24 minutes. For Henley, the key for them, finish this game strong. We talked about it last week, and they were able to do it successfully, but Henley so far this season has not been challenged very much to finish a ball game. And this week, you're only up by 10. It is definitely one of those scenarios where Coach Stork is saying, let's finish strong and, minimize the mistakes, although that's the goal all the time. We've got to finish strong tonight.
Absolutely, Josh. This is what you want out of your non-league schedule, and this is a good test for Henley. And we may see Lapine start to pound the football here in the second half. They were pretty successful running the ball, and I think Henley will just clean up some of their passing routes, some of their timing, and we could be in for some scoring.
Well, as we start the second half tonight, Henley trots back out onto the field in their road white uniforms, white with navy blue numbering and yellow trim. They've got blue trim on their sleeves with a navy blue stripe down the side of their pants. Navy blue helmets with the yellow H on the side for Lapine tonight. Navy blue from head to toe, from helmet to jersey with white numbering and trim. They've got white trim on their sleeves. White pants with a little dash of gold down the side. As we get started with the third quarter tonight, the Henley Hornets kick off toward the north goal. As Lapine will start with the football tonight, Owen Sheen talking with his boys out there on the line, unsure exactly what they're trying to figure out.
Lapine going to get the ball. That's another important reason that stop was so important at the end of the half for Henley. If Lapine were to score there and get the ball here, it could be a different ball game.
The kick from the Hornets is more of a squib kick, bounces out around the 25, rolls up to the 15. That's taken by Lapine's number 20. That's Dylan Hankey. He tries to cut back toward the middle, picks up about 4 yards on the return, and it's 1st and 10 for the Lapine Hawks.
Some more good coverage by the kick team. I'm impressed with them tonight. Lapine not able to bring the ball out much past the 20 on their kickoffs. That's where they're starting now.
1st and 10 from the 20. Campbell back out there to lead his team. The Hawks, like you said, have had trouble a little bit through the passing game tonight, so look for them to pound the football here in this second half. Campbell under center, and he's got Boysha in the backfield and hands it off to Boysha. Cuts upfield for a gain of about 6 on the play. And good ball movement for Lapine on their first play of the second half. They trail by 10, 16-6 against the Henley Hornets.
Owen Northcutt on the end, made the stop. And we'll see if Lapine continues to run the football here.
2nd and a long 4. Same formation coming out for the Hawks. Campbell tried to get back there and throw it. The pass deflected fairly quickly by Austin Fitz, and he's quickly greeted by his teammates with pats on the helmets and high fives. Heads up play by Fitz.
That was an interesting play. The quarterback was under center, took one step back, tried to make a quick pass to the slant route. Austin just too tall, too much arm, and knocked it down.
3rd and a long 4 for LaPine. Yard to gain is the 30. They take it from just inside the 25. They drive from left to right. No longer under center is Campbell. He takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to Cook, who tries to fight his way up the middle. And he gains 5 yards, though we'll see where they mark it. Did he get the first down?
They're going to say yes, it looks like.
Just got the first down, as with 5 first downs in the first half, LaPine adds their 6th of the night. 4th play of the drive coming up. It's 1st and 10 from the 30. Campbell back there with his running backs again. One wide receiver set out to either side of him. Campbell takes the snap. It's a high snap. Handed off to Cook. He tries to find up the middle. Bounces out to the outside and is dragged down after a gain of 5. Northcutt in on the tackle for the Hornets.
Yeah, and Tulsin Higgins also, nice job shedding his block and coming out to help Owen.
2nd down and 5 for LaPine. 10:24 to go in this 3rd quarter. Henley leads LaPine 16-6. LaPine has had almost all of their success on the ground this evening and continuing that here into the 2nd half. Campbell back under center. Takes the snap, takes it himself, and the bruising quarterback fights forward for a gain of 6 and a LaPine first down.
That's definitely something you need to address. You can't give up 5 and 6 yards to a quarterback sneak.
Campbell is treating the quarterback and the fullback position like it's the same thing tonight. He is just trudging forward on those sneaks.
He's a strong player.
1st and 10 from the LaPine 41. Campbell under center once more. He's going to hand it to Boysha. He finds himself a gap up the middle, is tugged down after a gain of 7 on the play. That brings up 2nd down for LaPine, and Henley right now giving up these 6-7 yard rushes, and LaPine will take that all night. They've moved the chains already 2 times in this 2nd half. 9:15 to go in the 3rd quarter. They trail 16-6 to the Henley Hornets.
Fitz and Sieben on the tackle. And I'm a big fan of mixing it up, and I like what LaPine is doing. They'll run a split backfield. They'll run an I formation, the quarterback under center, quarterback in the shotgun, giving a lot of different looks and keeping the Hornets on their heels.
2nd and about 4 to go for LaPine. Campbell under center once more. Takes it and is going to play action. He's into the pocket, feeling some pressure, tries to cut upfield and ends up being wrapped up and brought down into the backfield for a sack, a loss of 3 on the play.
Owen Northcutt, Colby Scholes applying the pressure. And that puts LaPine in a 3rd and long, and that's what you want.
Another one of those big 2nd down sacks for Henley. They did it to end the 2nd quarter as well. Had to go for it on 4th down. It resulted in an interception, a forced throw. Luke Bennett able to take that one away. We'll see what the LaPine Hawks decide to do here on 3rd and 6. Campbell takes the snap and a fumble snap. The ball still loose. Campbell falls on it, but so did Garrett Northcutt. And I believe that LaPine got to it first, but a large loss on the play of just about 6 yards. That brings up 4th and 12.
Very fortunate for Henley to get a big loss there. Garrett just a split second away from picking up that fumble, but Campbell covered it up first.
4th and very long, and the punt unit coming out for LaPine. Good defensive stand for the Hornets.
This is the first punt formation we've seen tonight.
High snap to the punter. It is kicked straight up. The punt goes about 12 yards and out of bounds. They're going to say it went out of bounds at the 44-yard line. That is where Henley will take over in LaPine territory with 7:15 to go in the 3rd quarter. The Hornets lead 16-6.
Well, that won't show up in the stats, but you can thank Austin Fitz for that. The punter saw Austin coming. He probably would have blocked that kick if he had kicked it normally, and he was forced to kind of move to the side and kick it straight up, and that's a good break for Henley.
I was waiting. I had the B sound ready in my mouth for a blocked punt, but that kick, like you said, went straight up about 12 yards.
He was right there.
1st and 10 from the 42. Henley, their first possession of the second half. Tulsin Higgins takes the handoff. He turns on the Jets, tries to trudge his way up through the middle of the field and gets a gain of 5 on the play. That brings up 2nd down for the Henley Hornets. Tulsin Higgins already scoring 1 touchdown tonight from 4 yards out. That was Henley's last score, coming with 7:28 to go in the second quarter.
Henley trying to establish the run now on their side of the ball.
2 receivers to either side of Shaw Stork. Austin Fitz to the near side along with Owen Sheen. Colton Smith on the far side. Sheen in motion, and lots of flags down from just about every zebra on the field.
Hornets got a little anxious. They'll get the down over, but it'll bring up about 2nd and 9, we'll say, 10.
2nd and 10. Same formation coming out for the Hornets. Fitz and Sheen to the near side. Sheen in motion once again, cuts across in front of Stork. Stork takes the snap and hits Colton Smith. It hits his hand, and Colton Smith lets that one slip through his fingers. Incomplete. That brings up 3rd for Henley.
Another wrinkle that we see here from the Hornets, a little motion that time, and that play looked to be successful. Couldn't quite complete the pass and catch, but that's something to think about. The motion there seemed to work.
Colby Scholes and Owen Sheen to the near side for the Hornets. Higgins off to the right of Stork. 3rd and 10. Colton Smith and on the far side, Tyler Harper, the 2 wide receivers for the Hornets. Stork takes the snap. He's rolling to his right, feels the pressure, tries to dump that one off to Harper, but just over his head. 4th and 10 coming up for the Hornets. So 2 defensive stops to start the third quarter.
Another well-designed play that didn't quite get executed the way that you would want to if you're a Henley fan. Stork just overthrew that ball just a little bit.
After that one, both teams 0 for 3 tonight on 3rd down conversions. And the punting unit coming out for the Hornets. It is up from Harper. That will bounce around the 10-yard line and back toward the other side of the field, kind of backwards. They're going to mark it down at the 11. That is where Lapine will take over their second drive of the half.
That was a nice punt. That's just what you want. Get that ball deep. And Chris Janney is really making a name for himself on special teams. Down there to down the ball.
Henley special teams, last week they had a blocked field goal and a blocked punt. Almost had another blocked punt tonight. Their special teams has been a strong part of their team so far this season.
Yeah, I would agree, especially on the on covering kicks, punts and kickoffs. They do a nice job with their speed.
1st and 10 from the Lapine 11. They've got a long way to go. They start things off with a handoff up the middle. Good for a gain of 4 on the play.
Owen Northcutt wrapped him up. He has a number of tackles tonight.
They're going to give him 5, so it'll bring up 2nd and 5. Henley defense looking for yet another stop. Lapine has not scored since 6:15 to go in the first. Henley's defense has stood strong, a couple of takeaways in there as well. 2nd and 5. Campbell under center, and he's going to hand it off to Boysha, who is wrapped up after getting back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 5 coming up.
Owen Northcutt again. He's been making the inside tackles. That time he was able to get outside, showing good quickness and pursuit. That's a fine play by Owen.
5:23 and counting to go in the third quarter of a 16-6 ball game. The Henley Hornets in the lead in this one. Lapine with the football. They've got 3rd and 4 in front of them. The yard to gain is the 22. Take this one from about the 19, about the 18. Campbell under center. Takes this one, a play action pass. He's going to roll out to his left, feels pressure, fires that one over the middle, incomplete. Great coverage that time by Harper, and no flags down. 4th down coming up for Lapine.
You said it. I looked downfield as soon as he went back to throw. Excellent coverage by the Hornets. He had 4 receivers out there, and there was a body near every one. Well done by Henley.
And Lapine, 4th and about 4. The yard to gain is their own 22. They're keeping the offense out there. Interesting decision by Coach Bo DeForest. And this might be another one of those where they sort of do a fake play and punt it, but flags down. It's going to be false start against Lapine. That'll bring them back. So now you've got more field to work with. Likely to see a conventional punt, I would think. There's no hiding this one when you're 4th and 8.
Yeah, that play can backfire sometimes when you're making a weird call at the line. Sometimes your line will jump, and that's exactly what happened there.
So punt formation for the Hawks, a booming punt. Wow. That one rolls out to about the 20-yard line, picked up and trying to bring it back. That's Bennett. He gets up to the 25, tries to fall forward to the 30.
That was a terrific kick.
I went about 50 yards in the air, rolled out to about 65 yards. I had to count across the field. You don't see punts that long, but what a boot coming out from the Lapine punter.
You know, he had a little, that was a great kick, but he did have a little bit of that wind helping that we talked about earlier, and man, that was a nice reversal of field for Lapine.
Definitely different from the 12-yard punt we saw just a few minutes ago.
Right.
4.5 to go in the 3rd quarter. Henley takes over, 1st and 10 from about the 24. Stork, 2 receivers to either side of him. Takes the snap and a option from the quarterback as Stork fakes the handoff and cuts up the far sideline. He's getting past some defenders. He past the 40, now midfield, before being brought down at the 46 on the other side of midfield. About a 25-yard rush, maybe more for Shaw Stork, and a 1st down for the Hornets.
Both teams now going with what has been working for them. Sometimes in the heat of a game, you kind of forget what's been working. Shaw running has been working great for Henley, and that was a good call right there.
That's Henley's first down of this second half. It comes with 4:17 to go in the 3rd. His team up by 10, 16-6. 1st and 10 from the 46. Now driving to the north goal downfield in Lapine territory. Owen Sheen to the far side. You've got Smith to the near side. Stork takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to Higgins. Higgins tries to fight his way upfield and ends up being pushed backwards. They're going to say he got back to the line of scrimmage, though, before being pushed backwards. They're going to give him that at least. 2nd and 10 coming up for the Hornets.
And on the tackle, we've failed to mention Colton Campbell, the quarterback for Lapine. Also plays defense on the end, and he made a nice stop there.
2nd and 10. Sheen to the near side now for the Hornets. Still a 4 wide receiver set for Henley. Setting a man in motion, it is Bennett. Low snap for Stork, and he feels the pressure quickly, is wrapped up and brought down for a loss of about 10 on the play. That brings up 3rd and about 20.
And there was Campbell again for Lapine. And both teams now trying to show if they can run the football, and that makes for a quarter to go by quickly. We're inside of 3 minutes already here in the 3rd.
2:46 to be exact in the 3rd, 16-6 the score. The Hornets lead 3rd and 19, the official marking. Stork, 3 wide receivers set. Stork drops back into the pocket, tries to fire one over the middle, but Owen Sheen just can't get there. Sheen looking for a pass interference call. No flag thrown. That brings up 4th down for Henley.
Good coverage back there by the Hawks. And we're seeing the defenses do their thing here in the second half. Neither team able to score yet.
Henley's punt unit comes out once again for just the 2nd time tonight. Snap, the kick from the 35. That one actually dribbled off of a player from Lapine out to the other side of midfield at the 40. Mark it down at the 37. And that is where Lapine will start their drive in their own territory at the 37 with 2:22 to go in the 3rd quarter. And for Harper, not the punt you wanted, but it'll work. Still on the other side of midfield. You give your defense another shot here.
Yeah, a little turnabout right there. Henley pressured their punter into a poor kick earlier. Same thing just happened to Henley. Things tend to even out a little bit. And Lapine has pretty good field position at their 38.
Lapine so far from their 38, that is the best starting field position they've had so far tonight. 1st and 10 for the Hawks. Campbell takes the snap, play action pass, drops back into the pocket, fires it over the middle, and the pass is caught at the 35. Taking that one all the way to the house and a Lapine touchdown. And I believe that was Hagen Hansen, the junior, taking that one to the house.
That was a well drawn up play. Hansen found the seam in between the 2 corners on the far side, and Campbell threw a laser.
65-yard touchdown.
Right on
and there's
strike.
the boom again. Man, that scares me every time.
You know what? I saw about a dozen fans jump off their seat right there.
Being from a questionable neighborhood in Seaside, California, it makes me jump just a little bit every time. A big touchdown for Lapine. An extra point here would bring them within 3, but they're trying for 2. Campbell, he hands it off, and it's no good. It'll stay a 4-point game with 2:11 to go in the 3rd. Henley leads 16-12 on the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sport.
John Bowers Construction and Landscape Maintenance is in urgent need of landscape team members now. Call them at 541-205-1464 to apply. They're also looking for a construction team lead and a landscape maintenance team lead. They offer extremely competitive wages, paid vacation, and so much more. Call John Bowers Construction at 541-205-1464 to apply today. Email johnbowerslandscape@hotmail.com. CCB number 188923. Equal Opportunity Employer.
We're in the 3rd quarter at Lapine High School. The score 16-12. The Hornets still lead. Lapine going down and scoring on their last drive. Another quick hitter for them. It was one play. Took them about 10 seconds. 65-yard connection between Colton Campbell and Hagen Hansen, the junior. Both of the scores for Lapine tonight coming on one play of a drive.
Colby Scholes, we should mention, made a great stop on that extra point attempt.
The kickoff was more of a squib kick, came out to the 30. It was fielded by Tulsin Higgins. He brings it up past midfield, now up past the 40. He steps out of bounds at the 35. A great return. About 35 yards on it for Tulsin Higgins. Henley starting on the other side of midfield at the Lapine 35.
Now, there's another advantage you don't think about that Henley has. When you kick to the up back, for most teams, they're not quick. They're usually blockers. You kick to the up backs for Henley, and you've got super speed. You probably have 4 guys. The deep 4 are all very fast, and you don't want Tulsin Higgins picking up a kickoff. So, great return.
We'll give you 35 yards if you do let him pick up the kick return. 1st and 10 from the 35. Stork, a 3-wide receiver set off to his right. Tulsin Higgins to his left. Stork Awaiting the snap, he takes it. He's going to roll to the near side. He's got a lead blocker in Higgins. He is wrapped up and brought down after about a gain of 3 on the near sideline. Brings up second down for Henley. And an important drive with good field position for Henley coming up. Their lead now only to 4. Still more than a field goal, but you'd like to come away with points on this drive. But with good field position, Henley has struggled, starting on their other side of midfield tonight, looking to convert points here.
Yeah, I agree with you. This is a big drive. About a minute and a half left to play in the third quarter. And you do not want to give LaPine any more momentum than they already have.
2nd and 7 for the Hornets. Stork takes the snap. That one is handed off, and for the first time tonight, a tackle in the backfield on a run play, but there is a flag down. If the play stands as it were, it would be a 3-yard loss for Tulsin Higgins, but still awaiting the official signaling from our Whitecap here tonight.
Dylan Hankey for LaPine was all over that play. And they're debating whether or not they will accept the penalty.
So that likely then going against the Hornets. And we will see what the call ends up being. The flag is thrown pretty much right at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be holding against the Hornets. This one is coming back.
Henley will get the down over, but of course they'll have to take the yardage. That play was for a loss. They could have considered not accepting the penalty, but they're going to take the 10 yards.
Precisely right. They get to redo second down. It is 2nd and 20. Owen Sheen, along with Chris Janney to the near side, the wide receivers for the Hornets, and then 2 off to the far side. 2nd and 20. The yard to gain is the 25. Shaw Stork, play action pass over the middle, and pass incomplete, intended for Austin Fitz. Brings up 3rd and 20.
That was a nice fake, the play action. It looked like he'd handed the ball off, but he pulled it back. And there's just a timing issue tonight between Stork and his receivers. They're just a beat off. And they're not making the catches they were making even a week ago.
3rd and 20 coming up for the Henley Hornets. Stork. The defense for LaPine looking ready to send the house. And a timeout is called. It's going to be taken by Henley. They'll use their first timeout of the half. We're going to stick with you through this one. The Hornets lead 16-12, 3rd and 20 coming up for Henley. A big play, but 4th down is really where it's going to be make or break time for the Hornets. So far on 3rd down tonight, they are 0 for 4 on 3rd down conversions, their longest attempt of the night coming up.
Yeah, Shaw saw some trouble on that left side. It was stacked with defenders, and he felt like Henley was not going to be able to block that, so they did call a timeout. Probably a good move. You don't want to lose more yardage here. You probably want to try to pick up half of this and then go for the other half on 4th.
They're 3rd and 20. 10 yards would get them to the 35 in LaPine territory. The first down marker at the 25. A minute 3 to go in the third quarter, and Henley, Coach Stork, Coach Patchy, they are really talking this one over. For good reason in this close of a ball game. Important play coming up.
This quarter has flown by.
A minute 3 left to go in the third. The Hornets lead 16-12 over LaPine. 3rd and 20. Henley, a big play coming up. Stork with Higgins in the backfield. Takes the snap. That's Northcutt. It's a keeper for Stork. Stork cuts upfield. He gets 10 yards, make that 15. He's up past the 30, and an 18-yard rush just short of the first down on the option for Stork, and that's where he's dangerous.
He is right near the first down marker. What a nice play on 3rd and super long to almost pick up the first down.
Stork last week, 208 yards on the ground. It shot him up from 9th to 4th in the state in rushing yards. Hasn't had too many carries tonight, but a good one there for about 19 yards. 4th and very short for the Hornets, and they're going for it. The yard to gain, the 25 in Lapine territory. They take it from the 27. Tried to get Lapine to jump, but they are staying stout. 13 seconds and counting in the third quarter. Stork takes the snap. He's going to keep it himself, trying to cut up midfield, and he falls forward, and this is right at the marker. Did he get it?
I think he got it. What a great weapon to have a quarterback who can run like that.
And they're trying to figure it out. It looks to me like he got it by just about the length of the football.
Yeah.
Big decision, though, for the officials coming up, as this is 4th down and a big one at that. Lapine seems to think, obviously, that it's short.
Well, the yard marker is right on the 25-yard line, and the ball looks to me like it has reached that line.
It looks definitely by about half of the football from here. Yeah. And if you want to, we'll zoom in on the live stream just to give you a better idea of where exactly the ball is as they bring out the chains. Don't see this too often, but this is a very important play coming up and a very important call on this 4th down and short. And they bring the sticks out, and the Hornets, it looks like, they pull it steady, and he is about an inch short of the first down. At least that's where they have it marked right now. And yes, an inch short.
There's a term in broadcasting for what I just did. It's called being wrong.
Yeah,
I thought he had it. I thought he was over the 25-yard line, and the down marker was inside the 25, but nevertheless, he was short.
Well, that is a big turnover on downs for the Hornets on 4th down conversions tonight. That makes them over 3. 1st and 10 for Lapine from the 25-yard line. There's 2 seconds to go in the third quarter. A handoff up the middle, and a big handoff. He breaks it off for about a 11-yard gain. 1st down, and that brings us to the end of the third quarter. Lapine driving. They've got momentum, although they trail the Henley Hornets 16-12. We're heading into the final 12 minutes of an action-packed ball game. You'll want to be here for this. 16-12, you've got the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 960 Sports.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place and then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
Well, we're starting the fourth quarter. Lapine definitely feeling home field advantage tonight. They trail 16-12 to the Henley Hornets. 1st and 10 for the Hawks. They got it on a turnover on downs where Henley was just about an inch and a half short on the 25-yard line, but just short of the 25-yard line. Campbell falls back, 1st and 10. The quarterback for Lapine unfurls one down the middle, and the pass is intercepted on the far sideline. The Henley Hornets create a big takeaway there.
Colton Campbell put a lot of air under that pass. I really like what Colton did there. He gathered himself, put his feet under him, and went up to catch that ball at its highest point. That's his 2nd pick of the game, I believe.
2nd pick of the game. He's also got an interception. He is touching the football quite a bit tonight. Henley takes over 1st and 10 from the Lapine 35 as they drive now from left to right across your screen. Hornets a big drive coming up. 11:53 to go in the 4th and final quarter. Hornets up 16-12. Two wide receivers to the near side for Stork. He takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to Higgins, who leaps over one defender, gets about a yard on the play, brings up 2nd and 9.
Good stop by Lapine. They're starting to figure things out a little more here, making it a little more difficult for Henley to pick up those first downs they were so easily getting in the first half.
Henley first half first downs 14. In the third quarter, just 1.
Yeah.
2nd and 9. Stork takes the snap. He's rolling to the near side. He's got some lead blockers. He gets up past the 40, cuts back across the middle, now past the 45. And they're going to give him the first down, or at least that's what we think. Never can tell these days. 1st and 10 now for the Hornets as it looks like they are moving the chains. Second first down of the half for Henley. Puts him 1st and 10 at the 45.
We call his name all the time, but Tulsin Higgins with just an excellent block, springing Shaw for some extra yards on that carry for a first down.
First and 10. Higgins in the backfield with Stork. Stork takes a snap, play action pass. He finds Sheen on the far sideline, gets past one defender, now cuts up, gets past midfield, stays inbounds, and an 11-yard reception for Owen Sheen, and another Henley first down.
Nice to see that. That worked early in the game. Owen had 3 catches in a row to start the game, and then Stork went back to it there with great success and another first down.
17th of the night for the Hornets. Only their 3rd in this half, although driving here. This is the 4th play of the Henley drive, their 4th possession of the second half. 1st and 10. Sheen to the far side. Also Luke Bennett out there. Sending a man in motion, it's Owen Sheen cutting from the far to the near side. Stork takes the snap, fires it over the middle, pass incomplete, intended for Austin Fitz. That brings up 2nd and 10.
Part of the reason the timing might be off a little bit is because Lapine has such good pass defense, and Henley has not come across that yet this season. They're causing some trouble in that defensive backfield, so it'll bring up another long situation for Henley.
2nd and 10. 10:18 to go in the 4th quarter. Henley leads 16-12. Stork takes the snap. He's rolling to his right. Feels some pressure from behind. Unloads it to the right side. Pass incomplete. Intended target Colton Smith. And brings up 3rd and 10.
Yeah, he really just had to throw that one away. That was a good decision there. Nice coverage on the outside by Hansen again for Lapine. And Henley with a big 3rd down now with around 10 minutes to play.
Big 3rd down to play is Bennett and Sheen to the near side. Smith and Fitz to the far side. Higgins in the backfield with Stork. Third and 10. Stork takes the option, fakes the handoff to Higgins and tries to fight his way upfield. He does for a gain of 6, still about 4 yards short of the first down marker. Henley has had trouble on 3rd down tonight, 0 for 5. And with 4th down looming, big decision. They're 0 for 3 on 4th down conversions tonight.
That was a nice little game, but that's going to put them in a precarious situation here with 4th and 5.
And they're keeping the offense out here. A big play looming for the Henley Hornets. 4th and 5. 9.5 to go in the 4th quarter. 3 wide receivers to the near side for Stork. 1 to the far side, to the near side. Smith, Sheen, and Fitz. Luke Bennett along the left sideline. Smith. Shaw Stork takes the snap. He tries to get it across midfield over to Bennett after feeling pressure. The pass falls incomplete. 3rd time Henley has turned it over on downs tonight. 4th time that's happened. 0 for 4 on 4th down conversions. Lapine starting with fairly good field position. They'll take it over from the Henley 40.
I thought we might see some offensive adjustments and see some more scoring this half. And it turns out the adjustments were made on the defensive side of the ball for both teams. Neither team can find the end zone, and we really haven't seen a successful drive here in this half.
The points coming for Lapine on one play earlier in the third quarter. And Campbell is going to hand it off to his running back, who cuts up the far sideline, and a gain of about 9 yards on the play, still short of the first down. Second down coming up for Lapine.
It's a dangerous situation for the Hornets here. If Lapine can work some clock and get a touchdown, that put the Hornets in a tough spot.
9:02 as the clock stopped after Cook ran out of bounds. Second down and 2 to go. The yard to gain is the 50. Campbell takes the snap, hands it off to Boysha, who powers forward for a gain of 8 on the play. Good for a Lapine first down.
Looked like Austin Fitz was in on the tackle.
Got up to the 48-yard line. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Lapine. They're driving, 8:50 and counting in the fourth quarter. The Hawks trail the Hornets 16-12. 1st and 10. Campbell under center once more. He's going to hand it off to Boysha again. This time he's stuffed at the line of scrimmage. He might have got one on the play. Second down coming up for the Hawks.
Well done in there by one man, though. And then Tulsin Higgins on the assist. And that's what you want to see from the Henley defense.
2nd and 8. The ball spotted at the 42-yard line. Lapine driving, trying to put themselves in front in this game. Campbell under center once more. And a flag is thrown right before the play begins. Thrown from the near judge, and
I think Henley was lined up in the neutral zone there, but we'll see.
And we'll see what the call ends up being. But you may be right, and that is the case. Neutral zone infraction against the Hornets. Brings them up 5 yards, make it now 2nd and about 2.5 yards to go.
That was an unfortunate break. This gives Lapine a nice situation when it's 2nd and short. You can do a lot of things here. You could try a little pass or something to the outside.
Campbell could also take it himself, starting from under center. We've seen that quite a bit this evening. He's going to hand it off to the fullback, Cook, to power forward. Tough to bring him down, and the crowd of bodies still moving. Finally brought him down after a gain of about 10 yards on the play. And Cook brought all 22 guys out there on the field with him.
That was a pile mover. Everybody in blue was in on that surge, and it was good for another first down.
Lapine still driving, 7.5 to go in the fourth. Henley leads 16-12. Lapine at the Henley 25, 1st and 10. They've run the ball every play on this drive, the 5th play of the drive coming up. Campbell under center, 2 in the backfield with him. He sends one out. This one another QB sneak. The pile moving about 7 yards on the play. No, make it 12. They're still going. Campbell moved a first bunch of Hornets up and then took a few more with them for a gain of 13 and a Lapine first down.
Well, I think Lapine has found something here, and they've moved the ball about 40 yards on plays just like that, and all of a sudden they're in the red zone.
1st and 10 from about the 14. Lapine driving. 6.5 to go in the final quarter. They trail by 4, 16-12. And the blitz coming from Henley. Campbell kept the snap. He's trying to wrap around the outside. He gets wrapped up after a gain of 1. And Henley sending a safety blitz, it looked like, and gave Lapine a different look, and it worked as good as you can hope for. Only a short gain on the play.
That was nice aggressive defense by Henley, and Colby Scholes with a big hit. When there's a big play that needs to be made tonight, Colby and Colton have been right there.
2nd and 10, so no gain on the play for Campbell. Takes this one from under center once again. We'll see if Henley decides to send the blitz again. It looks like Higgins sneaking up there. And this one going to be a handoff up the middle and brought down after a gain of 4, bringing up 3rd and 5. Big 3rd down coming up for the Henley Hornets. So far tonight, Lapine 0 for 4 on 3rd down conversions. Both of these teams having trouble in the later downs. And a timeout is called by the officials. It looks like there's an issue with a player's equipment. So coming off the field is Mike Brown. And we will have an official timeout here with 5:13 to go in the final quarter. Got a score update from the Mazama Eagle Point game. 21-20. Mazama leads after a late touchdown, 4 seconds to go. Mazama likely going to hold on to that one, and it is the final. Just got the text. Final score from Mazama and Eagle Point, 21-20. The Vikes improved to 2-2 on the season, and now everyone in the Basin watching Henley tonight. Can they finish this one off against Lapine? They've got 5:13 to do it. A big 3rd down coming up for Lapine. Can the Henley Hornets defense stand tough? We've seen them send the blitz. They seem to work in some different looks these last couple of plays. It's forced Lapine on a 3rd down. And, different looks for Henley's defense. They're starting to make some stops.
Yeah, it's great to see them play some downs that are meaningful here in the 4th quarter. This is a big situation, and we'll see how Henley responds to it.
Officially 3rd and 6. Ball being taken from the 15. 3rd down for Lapine. Campbell under center and a fumble snap. Campbell fell on it. No gain on the play and a lucky break there for Henley. No flags down. It looked like, from up here, again, I'm up here. It looked like just about everyone jumped just a second early before the center snapped the ball, but Henley included. So no flags down. Brings up 4th and 8.
Well, that makes things interesting, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Now that missed conversion on Lapine's last touchdown, had they made that conversion, a field goal here could win the game for them. But now they're going to need a touchdown with 4:43 left to play.
Largest play of the game, and just like you said, Kevin, it's nice to have important plays down the stretch, and this is great experience for Henley when they have to go up next week against the Mazama team who just won a close game tonight. They're used to these games. Henley now finally getting their first taste of close competition. Their defense this drive on this set of downs has held tough.
Absolutely, and like any game, the game is made in big moments, and here's one right here. This is 4th down at about 8, and the balance of the game could hang on this play right here.
And if you're not already watching the live stream tonight on mybasin.com for the final 4:43 of this game, you better get there. The great thing is it's hosted on YouTube. You can find it on just about any electronic device you might have in your home that streams video. Get there, mybasin.com. We've had HD video all night long. Also appreciate you if you're watching on 104.3 and at 960 Sports, listening in. 4th down coming up. The teams are back out onto the field. 4th and 8. The biggest play of the night coming up as Lapine trailing by 4. Campbell not under center for this play. It's a snap. Campbell rolling out to his left, feeling some pressure. Campbell unloads it towards the end zone, and the pass is incomplete. Henley gets the turnover on downs. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 15.
Tyler Harper. What a piece of defense. And he's excited on that sideline, as he should be. He came right up when the ball was thrown and met the ball just before it got to the receiver, knocked it away, and Henley will take over on downs. What a play.
Now the takeaway for Henley, turnover on downs. You still have 4.5 to play, although that was a big play. we still got a lot of football left to be played. It's up to Henley to move the ball and get a few first downs here. If you can put points on the board, that's ideal. But move the ball, run some clock. 1st and 10 from the 15. Stork in the backfield with Higgins. Stork takes the snap. He's going to roll out to his left. He's going to cut up the far sideline and pushed out of bounds after a gain of about 5 on the play.
It's a nice gain. It kind of gives him a little bit of room.
Good job by Lapine to try to force him out of bounds, not let that clock keep running.
Right.
4:29 as the clock is stopped in the fourth quarter. The Hornets lead by 4, 16-12. They are on the road tonight at Lapine. Folks here in Central Oregon on the edge of the seats here in the bleachers. 2nd and 5. Smith, Bennett, and Sheen to the near side, the wide receivers for the Hornets. Stork awaiting the snap in the backfield. He takes it directly himself, finds a hole up the middle. He gets the first down and then some. Call it a gain of 7 on the play. Good for a Hornets first down. 18th of the night for Henley.
When you need yards, you go to your leading rusher. And that's what the Hornets are doing right now.
Stork, 208 yards on the ground last week. Not quite near that number tonight, but he is picking up meaningful yards late in the game. Sheen and Smith to the near side. 4 wide receivers set for the Hornets. Stork. The Hornets taking their time, allowing that clock to dwindle. 3:51 to go in the fourth quarter. Stork takes the snap, a handoff to Tulsin Higgins, fights his way up through the middle for a gain of 5 on the play. 2nd down coming up for Henley.
I like the maturity of Stork there, taking his time. He was actively watching the clock, trying to make sure he could run the play as late as he could. So more time came off the clock. A lot of quarterbacks might panic or might not be able to pay attention, but he does a nice job.
2nd and 5. Same formation for the Hornets. 3 wide receivers set. Smith and Sheen to the near side. Higgins also off to the right of Stork as they drive from left to right. At the 30 in in Henley territory. 2nd and 5. Stork takes the handoff. He's going to cut up the near side. He's got a blocker. He gets up past the 30, now to the 35. And he's still moving. He's up past midfield, now up past the 40. He's got some daylight up past the 35, and he gets to the 30. He's dragged out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. A huge game for Shaw Stork with 2:41 to go in the game. I lost Shaw in the shuffle of bodies. I picked him up on the other side of midfield, and he was going.
What a great effort. Strength and speed and good decisions, as we've talked about all year. And the nice thing about when you have a quarterback like Shaw is he's not just running for meaningful yards. He could break any play. So you could get a touchdown out of maybe a play where you want to get 10, 15 yards. It could go all the way, just like that one almost did.
1st and 10, they're marking it at the 25. Deep into Lapine territory now as the clock continues to move. 2:22 to go in the ball game. The Hornets lead 16-12. Sheen and Smith to the near side. It's Bennett to the far side, and a timeout is called by the Henley Hornets. We're going to take this one with them. They've got 1 timeout left in the half. They lead by 4, 16-12 with 2:14 to go in the ball game. You've got the MyBasin.com game on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
Construction and landscape maintenance is in urgent need of landscape team members now. Call them at 541-205-1464 to apply. They're also looking for a construction team lead and a landscape maintenance team lead. They offer extremely competitive wages, paid vacation, and so much more. Call John Bowers Construction at 541-205-1464 to apply today. Email johnbowerslandscape@hotmail.com. TCB number 188923. Equal opportunity employer.
Welcome you back. We're in for an exciting finish tonight from Lapine High School. The MyBasin.com game of the week on 104.3 and 960 Sports. 2:14 left to go in the ball game. The Hornets are driving. They lead in this one, and it's 1st and 10 from the Lapine 25. 3 wide receivers to the near side. It's Bennett, Owen Sheen, and Colton Smith. Handoff this time to Higgins. He battles forward in the middle for a gain of about 5 yards, maybe 4. Brings up 2nd down for Henley. The 6th play of the drive coming up.
Good hard run. Higgins runs hard in the 4th quarter just as he would in the 1st. And these yards are paying off right now. Henley probably need a 1st down, maybe 2 to win the ball game here.
Minute 46 and counting to go in the final period. The Hornets are up by 4, 16-12. 2nd and 5. Same 3 wide receivers to the near side for the Hornets, and Higgins also off to Shaw Stork's right. Stork letting the clock dwindle. Smart play. Lapine does still have 2 timeouts. Henley has 1 remaining. Stork takes the snap. He's going to take it himself. He gets up past the 20, brought down at the 16-yard line, and a timeout is going to be taken by the Hornets. That is their final timeout of the game. We're going to stick with you through this one. A minute 16 to go in the final quarter. It's going to be 3rd and short coming up for Henley. Big play looming.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide if that, was this timeout taken by Lapine or by...
The official signaled that it was taken by Henley. That's what I thought.
Because it seems kind of odd. Henley would not want to take a timeout.
Right, and that's exactly what I was thinking.
So I think maybe that was taken by Lapine. It makes me wonder if the previous one was taken by Lapine when the official signaled that direction. So they may be out of timeouts.
No, there's no timeout proper counter on the scoreboard, and if we're confused about signaling, we do apologize. By my count, though, Lapine has 2 timeouts remaining and Henley is out of them, but you're exactly right. I wouldn't think that Henley would take that timeout. So
a 1st down here would go a long way to solving that problem.
3rd and short, about 2 to go. The yard to gain is the 15. They take it from the 17. Bunched in toward the line of scrimmage are the Hornets. Higgins off to the left of Stork. Shaw gets down, ready position, takes the snap. He's going to take it himself, trying to fight up the far side of the field. He gets the 1st down. There is a flag down as Shaw Stork takes it into the end zone, but there is a flag down. And we'll see what the official ruling is. A good run by Stork, but this one may not count. Holding against the Hornets. That will bring it back. Replay 3rd down, but this time from behind the sticks.
That's a tough break. Shaw with another nice run. It was long enough for 6 points, but they'll have to dial up another play. It will still be 3rd down, which will help.
It's going to be 3rd and a long 11. Big play coming up for the Henley Hornets. 1:08 left to go in the ball game. They lead by 4. Luke Bennett to the far side. Sheen and Smith close to the near sideline as Henley taking it from the Lapine 28 from the near hash. They drive from left to right. Stork in the backfield. 1 wide receiver to the far side, 2 to the near side. He's also got Tulsin Higgins off to his right. Stork takes the snap. He's going to try to break it off himself. He's got some blockers downfield. He gets up to the about 16-yard line. Did he get the 1st down? Another one of those very, very close calls.
He's a little bit short, but he did a tremendous job of staying in bounds, and the clock is winding right now, 44-43. A very heads-up play to stay in bounds.
And if Lapine did have a timeout, this is the time to use it. So I'm sure you were correct when we had that discrepancy a little bit earlier. 30 seconds and counting. Henley is going to end up going for it on this 4th down. which is, at this late in the game, you try to get that fourth down that'll end the game on this first down. But
I think they'll have I'm guessing somewhere around 10 seconds.
Looks to me like they're going to take a timeout right as the play clock would have expired. 15 seconds to go in the final quarter. Now, if you're Coach Stork, do you trot the field goal unit out there, or do you try to go for this first down and win the game?
I think you
were the coach, Kevin, for the freshman team.
I would not want to kick. I would not want to kick in this situation. Too many things can go wrong. A bad snap or a bobble or a block, or you just put your best. You call your best play. You call your best running play probably, and you try to pick up the first down and end the game.
Put the game in the hands of your best players.
Yep, and you tell your team, you get 2 yards, you win the game. You have to instill in your players, you can get 2 yards, you win, and we'll see if Henley can do just that.
15 seconds left on the clock. If this were not to work out for the Henley Hornets, LaPine still would have a little bit of clock to work with, probably about a play, maybe two. But Henley, like you said, 6 feet away from winning a close ball game. They're going to go for it. 4th and 2. 15 seconds to go in the ball game. A first down here would win it for Henley. They are packing the line of scrimmage. Tulsin Higgins to the right side of Stork. One of those two men likely going to come away with the football here. Everyone here on the edge of the seat. Some folks out of their seats. Stork takes the snap. He's going to try to find it himself. He sheds one defender, is wrapped up, and play is stopped. He's short. 9 seconds to go in the game. And that'll be another turnover on downs. Not the way you draw it up if you're Henley, but you still put yourself in an okay position, play a prevent defense here.
Right.
Don't let the big play get run off.
Right, it was a good safe play. You went with your big runner. So it is unfortunate to give LaPine the ball, but you only leave them 9 seconds, so pretty well managed by Henley there. They didn't get the score, but good clock management, and it could pay off here.
That drive, 4 minutes and 27 seconds of a drive there dwindled down. All that clock left him with 9. Henley in the prevent defense here. That's all they can hope for. One last play before the end of this one. Campbell drops back into the pocket. He's got time. He tries to step up, go for the big pass. It's caught at the 50 on the other side of midfield, but time will expire. The Henley Hornets going home happy. They won a 16-12 ball game over the LaPine Hawks. Teams will meet at midfield after a hard-fought victory. Henley coming away with the win, and at least that's what it looks like. There seems to be a little bit of delay between the handoff. Here we go. Lining up on the 50. Final score tonight, 16-12. Henley coming away with a big win. When we come back, we're going to break down this game for you as we have it, take a look around the state, and send you on your way. Henley, undefeated on the season. They're 4-0. You've got the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104 and 960 Sports.
Sure glad we went to Les Schwab.
I'm glad the baby's still happy.
Well, I'm just glad that along with tires, Les Schwab also does brakes, alignment, and a bunch of other safety services. I mean, if we had gone to a cheap tire store instead, I'd be a doggone wreck.
My thoughts exactly.
Swing by today and get road trip ready with our always free pre-trip safety check. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
Trying to lose some weight and get in shape? Harbor Isles Tennis and Fitness Club provides a clean and friendly workout environment with professional and experienced staff to help you achieve your goals. They offer state-of-the-art equipment, indoor tennis and pickleball courts, certified personal trainers, tons of group exercise classes. They're the best exercise facility in the Klamath Basin. Plus, they now have a smoothie bar to give you a nutritious boost after your workout. See and feel the difference at Harbor Isles Tennis and Fitness Club. It's the place to be.
Welcome back to Lapine High School, the site of tonight's MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports. The final score tonight, Henley beating Lapine 16-12. Kevin, it was a game that came down to the last minute. What an exciting night of football.
There's so many good things. That's what I was impressed with tonight. Really clutch performance down the stretch. Henley had to make a lot of smart decisions and big plays to win this game, and they came up with all the right plays that they needed. And of course this team's just fun to watch. It was a pleasure tonight.
Lapine rated number 7 in the state at the 3A level. Henley rated number 7 in the 4A level. A lot of people around the state talking about how Henley, with all due respect to Ashland and Wairika and Crook County, people saying that, who have you beat to Henley? Yeah. And now with a statement win over a team like Lapine in a close game, Henley proved that they belong tonight, in my opinion.
Yeah, make no doubt about it. Lapine's a good team.
Yes.
And they only got better as the night went on. And I was impressed with their size and their line play. And in the second half, they were running the ball just as well as Henley. The one thing that we mentioned earlier, the takeaways were probably the big difference. If Lapine hadn't had all those turnovers and fourth down fails, they could have easily won the game tonight. But hats off to the Hornets. The fans should be happy. The coaches should be proud. They played a nice game tonight.
Talk about the Henley Hornets and how they scored the football tonight. The first touchdown came from a connection between Colton Smith and Shaw Stork from 16 yards out, capped off an 11-play drive. They went up 6-0 after that. Lapine answered back quickly with a 75-yard rush from Adrian Boysha. Game tied at 6 for most of the first quarter. Henley comes back with an Owen Sheen field goal, put him up 9-6. Henley then scores again with a Tulsin Higgins 4-yard touchdown. That Higgins touchdown coming in the fourth quarter, and Lapine trying to answer back. They could not get all the way back into the game. They did score one more touchdown, a 65-yard connection between the quarterback Campbell and Haken Hansen, and both times that Lapine scored, tried to go for 2. And ended up not working out. You give them those 2 points back. This is a 16-14 game, a field goal for Lapine. They've had good field position. There's a lot of what-ifs left on the table tonight, but at the end of it all, Henley comes away victors, and that's really what matters on the bus ride home.
It was just one of those games, and Henley, the players were up to the challenge, and it was a great win. How many first downs did Henley have tonight?
Henley finished the evening with 19 first downs. They had 14 in the first half, were slowed down quite a bit in the second. Lapine finishing the night with 10 first downs, 5 in each half.
That's one thing I would say is you definitely, when you get into Skyline play, you had 19 first downs but only 16 points. You need to convert a little more as you're moving the ball down the field, and you need to end up with some more scoring drives. But as far as the offense moving the football, it was another good night.
Henley tonight, you take a look at that, converting into points. 0 for 5 on third down conversions tonight. 0 for 4 on fourth down conversions tonight for Henley. For Lapine, 0 for 4 on third down. They went 1 for 2 on fourth down conversions this evening. Henley comes away with the victory 16-12. We're going to step aside, come back. While we do, we'll take a look around the state and send you on your way. 16-12, the final. Henley beating Lapine on the MyBasin.com Game of the Week. 104.3 and 960 Sports.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
There you go.
And we welcome you back to 104.3 and 960 Sports. Henley on the road getting their 4th victory of the season. They won 16-12 over the Lapine Hawks. Taking a quick look at the Skyline Conference standings, Henley, the only undefeated team left in the conference. They are 4-0. North Valley right behind them at 2-1. Mazama getting their win tonight. They are 2-2. As far as we know, Hidden Valley still 1-1. Klamath Union and Phoenix both winless. They are searching for that. They are at the bottom of the Skyline Conference. Some other scores from around the area this evening. Mazama beating Eagle Point 21-20 to improve to 2-2 on the season. That's next week's opponent for Henley. Some other scores from around the area. Maris finishing off Cascade Christian. Last we knew from there it was 41-8. Grants Pass was up on Shasta 14-7. North Medford leading late against Liberty 24-7. Roseburg up against McMinnville 34-0. They are in the third quarter. Bonanza beating Tule Lake tonight 38-25. A couple of high school games going on tomorrow. Chiloquin plays Perrydale. Lost River plays Myrtle Point. And a great weekend of football ahead, of course. Looking at the top 10 coaches poll, Henley surely to jump up a few spots after a number 7 ranking tonight and a good victory against a good Lapine team. Kevin, next week, opening Skyline Conference play against a very good Mazama team. Mazama's 2-2, much better than that record shows. They've played some very good teams. Very excited for next week, as I'm sure everyone in the area is.
Yeah, you look at a season as kind of a journey, beginning to end, and you have specific things you want to get done as you go. Henley, Coach Stork and his staff has got to be happy with this non-league season as it wraps up tonight. They have to be thrilled with the results. They won each game. They improved greatly. Some of the players have really come to the forefront. They have some real leaders and some real strong players. So I'm excited to get into league play.
Henley winning tonight 16-12 over Lapine. That about does it for us this evening. Thanks for being part of the MyBasin.com Game of the Week on 104.3 and 960 Sports. Of course, you can watch an archived replay of this event and many others on MyBasin.com. MyBasin.com is your home for everything going on in the Klamath Basin, from news to sports, everything in between. Find us online, mybasin.com. Once again, the final score tonight, Henley 16, Lapine 12. I'd like to give a special thank you to Lapine Athletic Director Aaron Flack for giving us a setup in the bleachers tonight. Also thank head coach Bo DeForest for working with us, the broadcast crew this evening, getting us the lineups and what we need before the game. Thanks to all the wonderful folks who've hosted us in Lapine tonight. Would also like to thank Henley Athletic Director Jesse Hamilton, allowing us to cover his program all season long, and head coach Alex Stork, wishing him a happy bus ride home with his squad. The final score, Henley 16, Lapine 12, the Hornets 4-0 in the preseason. For Nick Bradford running the live stream tonight and my partner Kevin Petrick, I'm Josh Eldridge. Good night from Lapine, Oregon.